No, 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 no! Ah!
CoCo Talk would like to thank our patrons who sponsor our show each week. So warm gratitude goes to Al Hartman, Alan Huffman, Alan Murphy, Blair Ledoux, Brendan Donaghy, Brian Joyce, Brian Weasler, Christina Armstrong, D. Bruce Moore, Davey Mitchell, Diego, Disney Saints fan, Eric Canales, Fedor Stamen, Glenn Hewlett, Grant Leedy, Jason Bucata, Jason Downs, Jenna Farron, Ken Reichert, Kyle Etter, Malfunct, Michael Pitsley, Paul Fiscarelli, Paul Shoemaker, Richard Lorbieski and Boyson Technologies, Rob Inman, Stephen Wagner, Steve Bjork, Terry Steen, Terry Steggy, The Backyard Shed Gang, Tom C., Tom S., and Tim Lindner. Thank you so much, patrons. CoCo Talk is an unscripted live broadcast. Anything can and will happen. The views and opinions expressed by members of the panel and the live audience are their own and not necessarily those of the CoCo Talk show, its sponsors, affiliates, or subsidiaries. Open minds encouraged, sense of humor recommended. If any off-color comments were made, we're sorry.
Hi, this is Dale Lear, designer of TRS-80 Color Baseball, and you're listening to CoCo Talk.
This is CoCo Talk, the world's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy Color computer. It's time to drop your socks, grab your real-time clocks, and let's rock.
CoCo Talk is rocking the 8-bit world, keeping the Tandy flame alive. We may be mocked, but we'll never stop, 'cause CoCo Talk is rocking the 8-bit world.
Good afternoon, everybody! I am so excited today because we have the return of FloppyTALK, so grease your weasels and whip out your 5 1/4 'cause it's on!
CoCo Talk is rocking the 8-bit world, keeping the Tandy flame alive. We may be mocked, but we'll never stop, 'cause CoCo Talk is rocking the 8-bit world.
Hi everybody, and welcome to CoCo Closet. Yay! Wait, what's going on up here? What's this?
It's empty shelf space.
Imposter! It's an imposter!
Oh! Yeah, CoCo, yeah. How about this one? Uh-oh. We're in the wrong apartment.
Empty box.
One of these things is not like the others.
Stevie, someone broke in your house. Sorry, showing off shaky cam here, but I'm moving. This is Mikey, and I'm moving my office from upstairs where I was before to downstairs. And in this room, I had set up a bunch of shelves in the closet for storage of all my retro equipment. So
are you in the living room?
What do you guys think?
So how long have you had a hoarding issue?
Except for this one.
The first step is admitting that you have a problem.
It's a very
and I
well
think it's
organized.
right, and there's the problem right there. What
At
is
least
that?
he's balanced. He has
He
multiple problems.
He just opened a wormhole. The
shelves
are
very
nice.
He wanted to put an F0 key in there.
This one is going to be the desk where I do most of my work, and then I'm going to get another desk back here, and like a corner desk. I think that might be the retro desk. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet.
Mikey, are you still married?
Yes. I was here yesterday and still getting it all organized, but
He didn't say this is a new apartment, did he?
No.
No.
New bachelor pad? No.
His library.
I got a couple of books too. See.
Nice.
Oh, you
Two
have
of everything.
two copies of the complete guide to OS. Oh, one says Radio Shack on it, though. I saw that. Ooh, label variation.
Yeah.
Very, very organized. Way more organized
Nice
than any
floors.
of the rest of us.
Yeah.
Putting us to shame,
I'm a
Mikey.
fan.
So this is
I'm a
why
fan.
Stevie went to Home Depot.
Is it getting hot in there? You turn the fan off.
I turned it off so that it's not making noise. Anyway.
That's very nice. Good job, Mikey.
All right.
That's cool.
You get a 5
Awesome.
on your organization
5 out
skills.
of 5? Okay, awesome.
Welcome to CoCoTALK, episode 169, the return of FloppyTALK. It's been a long time since we've talked floppy, so hopefully your weasels are greased. For those of you who are packing to 3.5 inches, that's fine. For those who got the 5 1/4, even better. I know a couple of us got some 8 inchers too. And listen, it's not the size of the floppy, but it's the amount of data that you put on it that counts. So it's all good in the neighborhood. Let's go around the room real quick and introduce the middle-aged panel that we have here today. In the bottom right-hand corner, from the bottom of the planet, the guy who likes to say, "Oh, crikey!" It's Nick Marentes. G'day, Nick.
Hey, I'm first today. That's amazing.
That's
See,
right.
I told you the bottom part of the
on
world
first?
is the best.
Not even woken up yet.
Yeah,
That is it. That is it. We have a guy who has a closet who's organized. Michael Furman is here. Hey, Mikey.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Fantabulous. Fantabulous. By the way,
Oh, I haven't heard that name in ages.
yes, the man whose name is so nice we must say it thrice. It is none other than.
Corona.
How you doing, Nicky Nick?
Well, in the world of 5 1/4 and 3.5, I'm a micro SD. I don't know what that means.
Thousands of floppies.
Micro SD
Actually.
holds much more. So,
Where'd that thing go?
so yeah, it's not the size of the storage container, but it's the capacity that counts.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
good,
so
good.
there we go. Where it's always sunny in Arizona, Ron Delvo.
Hello. How you doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Our backup streamer, our fashion expert, Mark Bosley's with us. Hello, Mark.
Hello.
He's petting his floppy drive. He's petting his floppy drive. Oh, who's a good floppy? Who's a good floppy?
It's a good floppy. No IO errors today, please.
Oh my
$1
goodness.
billion.
Dyson.
Oh, Rick Euland is here with a beard to make us all jealous. How you doing, Rick?
Oh, pretty good. Waiting on my floppy to cough up a label ball. So
It happens. Another
really
guy
good.
who likes to say, "Oh, crikey!" David O'Connor, how you doing?
I'm doing really well, except look, somebody stole my 5 1/4.
Oh no!
Put my hand in there.
Oh wow, that is a crime. That's a crime. Yeah,
air cooling.
Neo's
got him.
here. Neo's here.
Leo
Hey,
says
Neo.
hello too. He's
We got a guy who's sometimes vocally challenged. I'm not sure how well his voice is doing today. Brian Schubring, how are you feeling today, and how's your voice?
My voice is doing just ducky.
All right.
Quack, quack.
Glad to see you got those sucrets we sent you.
That's it. That's it. That's it. And
In
we've
the
got a
metal case.
guy with a couple of Cocos in the background, too. Alan Murphy's in the program. How are you, Alan?
Doing all right. So, Stevie,
Is-
floppy talk?
Floppy talk.
1570.
Hey, I got something for you.
There you go.
What is
Nice
that?
hit.
What is that? Is that an Amiga floppy?
No,
1571.
What is that?
Commodore 128.
Oh, okay. Commodore 128 floppy.
The
Excellent.
actual
1571,
drive
right?
that can load in less than a day.
Hmm.
You should have
Sometimes
Murphy's
less than an
Law.
hour.
We got a guy who's best known for saying,
Stop right there.
and toggle switches. Jason, the Coco Man's Reichert is here. How you doing, Jason?
Oh, I'm doing great. I am ready to go for floppy top. I've got my Diet Dr. Pepper.
Where's your
I've
floppy?
got my water.
Ah,
Mixing
excellent.
container.
And excuse me while I whip this out.
Woo-hoo-hoo! He's got an
Hey.
8. He's got an 8-inch floppy.
Floppy
Ladies and gentlemen.
party.
We're demonetized for sure.
What's black and 8 inches and gets whipped out of a sleeve? Jason's floppy.
Mine is his
gosh.
bigger than
No
ours.
Oh
excitement
my!
there.
Oh my! All right, Jason's floppy has been whipped out. All
You
right.
also do the Model 2.
Yes, and we got another guy who is known for saying things. The last time I spoke to him, he said this to me.
You want to grab some food before we head back and look at that Alt Reality OS9 module?
It's L. Curtis Boyle. Welcome to the program, Curtis.
I'll be doing the alt floppy drive module today.
We have a very special guest with us today, a guy who makes mad demos, who will be our guest speaker today, the madman himself, Simon Jonassen. Welcome to the program, sir.
Yay!
Thank you, Stevie.
And last but certainly not least, it's in his contract. We can't talk about floppy drives if he's not here. So I have two questions for you. Number one, David Ladd, are you excited to be here today?
Oh, why? Yes, I am, Stevie, and I can't wait to see how many RPMs we can get these floppy drives going today. We are all ready for that turntable experience, and I'm all pumped up with caffeine because I was out late last night partying on the LAN party, and now today I'm ready for the hardware experiences. Let's rock and roll!
Oh, wow.
Once more with enthusiasm.
Are we letting you out, David? Is that safe?
Wow.
That was awesome.
Wow. And I am the conductor of the train wreck today, Stevie Stroh. Welcome to the program, boys and girls. In the live chat, we've got Rob Inman, Al Hartman, Ken Reichard, Nimble is out there, Mark Overholzer is out there, David Ladd, Salvador Garcia, Al Hartman from Jersey is out there, Retro Innovations out there, being snarky, what a surprise. Kevin Holloway is here, and Erico is here, Frodo is here. Who else is here? We got all kinds of people. Evan Wright just popped in. Evan Wright, how you doing? And yeah, a lot of people in the live chat already. Canadian Retro Things is here. Nimble, David Lord, James Jones, and Ken Reichard and Craig J. Penn is here. Is that did I see his name right? Okay, Craig J. Craig J. Penn. Okay, sorry, I'm just learning to read.
Is that like Jim J. Bullock?
Jim J. Bullock is here.
Ray.
Jim R. is here.
Monroe is here. Monroe Ficus.
All right. So anyways, there's a lot of people in the live chat, but we are now just going to get right into the show. And Retro Innovations, Jim Brain and Retro Innovations is here. And so Simon Jonassen has been showing us many things. And he's been doing samples, he's been doing demos, he's been doing stuff. And at this point now, I'm just going to basically spotlight you, Simon. Today is all about you and whatever you're going to talk about. So welcome, Simon Jonassen. How the hell are you? Oh, I love the hair there. It's awesome.
Got my CoCo dinner up.
That's like you got the Pebbles do.
Almost in that grimly.
It's like when Nick Marotta leaves the rubber band in his hair.
Can you get channel 10?
Did you get channel 10?
We can do this. We can do this.
I must say.
Oh, now you got CNN.
There you go. There you go. The
He's a
Mohawk.
pretty decent guy, I must say.
The Mohawk, the faux hawk, the real hawk.
Whatever. At the end of the day, let me just put this rubber band back in here, and I can hear a cat going.
Jay, your cat?
Scaring the cat.
Scaring the cat, yeah.
Oh, you can tell. Can't you tell the cat has an Australian accent?
Something like that.
Crikey.
Right.
Milky.
So, look, what I wanted to show you was actually, Stevie, I don't know if you could show, I sent you a DMK file earlier, and I asked you to show it on MAME or something. You could actually hear the disc head going. Doop, 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 doop,
okay. Well, I didn't see that you sent me that, and I'm not exactly. I can't just jump right into that. I need a minute or two to do that because I missed that message because I had so many other things getting ready for the show. What is DMK? What does that work in?
DMK is actually basically a disc image because right now we've got like DSK, which is a disc image, but DSK is not a real disc image. It's not a real picture of a floppy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just the data on the sectors. The DMK is like the full thing with track headers and sector headers and CRCs and everything else.
It's got everything on it, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same thing with if you've got on the SDC, you've got an SDF file. You've got DMK to SDF because sometimes you've got copy protected software, sometimes you've got special loaders, all this kind of
Right.
Whatever, yeah.
Okay.
This is almost floppy
This is-
talk.
This is floppy.
It is
talk.
floppy talk.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, so let me ask you this: what CoCo? I'll pull it up in MAME. What CoCo should I be saving it on?
DMK. Just
should a CoCo 3 or CoCo 2? I guess is my question.
CoCo 3.
Okay. I am having an issue finding my things right now. Oh, see, I swear to God, I wish I had known I needed to have this ready ahead of time. I would have had it ready ahead of time. So I need a minute. That's okay.
I can send it to you right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys keep talking. Talk amongst yourselves while I figure this crap out here right now. Here we go.
It's
Here we go, the main blank.dmk. All right.
But it's not blank.
Why not?
So Simon, is this based on the same engine you did on your original demo for the Fest, or is this a further take on it, or?
No, it's the same thing, because if you saw the Gimme Games demo at the Fest, you'd see the initial load was about 128k, all crunched down to nothing. It just went. So what I'm actually doing is a software interleave, because the disk is formatted normally.
Okay, so you're kind of bypassing the normal sector headers and stuff and just kind of doing your own direct read?
I will show you exactly what I mean in a minute when Stevie just does that. What I need you to hear right
I'm
now
holding up blank.dmk right now. Let's do a dir.
Yeah, and
let's make sure I can read it. Now I need to share audio again. Okay, there's your disc. Let me share the audio so you guys can hear it again. I stopped sharing sound because I wasn't sure if Simon was going to be sharing sound. All right. So can you guys see MAME right now?
Certainly can.
Yep.
Okay. So let me type in dir again so you can hear the floppy.
Dir.
Okay. Now it says here in the look at that cool custom directory with the bomb, huh?
Nice.
Now it says type DOS. So should I be typing DOS, Simon?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Don't be scared.
Did he tap into the 256 color mode?
No. Stevie cut it off.
That is cool.
I would
does it
call
have-
it electronic pickup.
Don't be scared.
Very cool. And that loaded fast. It was like tuck, 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 and it was loaded. How much data just got loaded in that real quick tuck, 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 tuck thing?
Probably about 58k.
Wow.
That's pretty quick.
That was
That's
quick.
really
Yeah, we could hear the sounds. And so, and let me ask you the question again, because I was overwhelmed trying to download and pull up an emulator and everything else. So explain to me again, DMK. It is not, it's not like a normal disk image. It's, okay, let me rephrase this. What we call a DSK
Yeah.
is not forensically accurate to what a physical floppy is. Is that a fair enough statement?
Nowhere near. Nowhere near.
Okay, so
it's just the data. It's just the
Okay.
data you'd read for the disk.
So
drive string.
this DMK thing you sent me, that is more floppy forensically accurately correct.
That is an accurate floppy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That was created by David. I can't remember how to pronounce his last name. Kyle or Keel, back when he did his CoCo 3 emulator.
Okay.
And it's a raw format. You can do copy protected disks. You can do special formats, all kinds of things.
Okay. Okay.
So, but what I wanted to demonstrate here was I actually didn't do a special format.
Yeah.
It's a standard formatted disk. But what I did was a software interleave with a special loader. So let me share my screen for a moment.
Okay. I'm going to stop sharing. And you go ahead and share.
So my screen probably looks like I don't know what.
Okay.
Now.
There we go. I see Windows 7.
Yeah, Windows 7. And I need to find something there. So, okay, DMK edit. And DMK edit was actually made by Paul Fiscarelli for me when I did. I reached out to Paul Fiscarelli when I was doing the Gimme Games demo. And I said, well, do you know stuff about floppies? Because I need to put some stuff on some sectors so I can get a really fast load. And it's, well, yeah. And we talked backwards and forwards. And he came up with DMK edit. So I'm going to fire that up. So here you can see DMK edit, and I'll just grab a disk, and I would just put that on there. So the disk, as you can do, track view, and I'm going to do time mode. Can you see this?
Yep.
On the left hand side of the right hand pane, you've got like track 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blah.
Yeah.
On the right hand side, you've got the sectors. And let's just say, okay, check out the interleave of a normal disk. If you think a normal disk, right, and this is the way that FDC normally works, is like, okay, sector 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way around, yeah? So your head on your floppy is actually going sector 1, and you can see it's skipping 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see if on the right hand side it says 1 to 5, skip 4. That's your normal interleave, yeah?
Okay.
It gives
So
time for the computer to process the data while the head's still moving, or the track disk's still moving, before it has to read the next track.
It does. But Dig B is slower than swimming through molasses.
That's a technical term.
Seriously,
I never
okay.
tried that.
I'm sure they were conservative. They wanted to make sure that they would, not miss the next sector, so they gave lots of time.
Yeah, I know, like OS 9 and Nitrous 9 default to, I think, 3, if I remember correctly, because we discovered pretty early on that, yeah, you can definitely run faster than that.
Okay, so let's take a normally formatted floppy, which is like that, as a 1 to 5 interleave.
Yep.
And let's just do something else. Let's just say I want 1 to 1.
That's crazy talk now.
No, I want 1 to 1. So, okay, I hit sector 1. What's the next sector I'm going to hit? 12, 5, 16, 9, 2.
1 to 1, you hit 2.
1 to 1.
1 to 1, you hit 2.
You hit 12.
If you're at 1 to 5 and you're on 1, your next one's going to be 12.
1 to 1, you hit yourself again, don't you?
Now 1 to 1, you hit 2. No skip. Yes, no, 1, 2, 3,
Well,
4, 5.
okay, fine. Okay, so what if I said to you I wanted to hit 12 instead? Look at the picture. 1, 12, 5, 16, 9, 2, 13.
Yep, 12.
12.
12, yeah.
What if I wanted to do that? What if I wanted to do that?
I win.
Yeah, you want to read them out of order, so you can just catch them as the floppy spins.
Yes, exactly. So, okay, here we go. Sector map. Map 1.
Yeah, you guys didn't know there was going to be a quiz later too, right? So get out your number 2 pencils and your bubble sheets.
You see?
1 to 5 interleave, that's easy to remember.
Okay, 0, 12, 5, 16, 9, 2. Right, there's your sector map, which is interleaved. Is the past tense of interleave interleaved? I don't know.
Interleft.
Is blob a new word?
You interleft and I interrate.
Nice.
Anyway, sorry, we're derailing you, Simon.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Stevie, think of it as sort of levitation. Think of it as levitation. We're interleaved.
So where it says 256 byte blobs, is blobs a new word?
Well, a sector on a disk is 256 bytes. It's got some surrounding crud around it, like headers and all kind of.
Blob is a highly technical term. Binary large objects. Didn't everybody know that?
That's a database term.
That's what a blob stands for.
And everyone know that?
He just didn't have room to put the word sectors in the space available.
So, but you
blob
can,
is blob is just a block of data.
You can see basically I'm going 1, 12, 5, 16, 9. So basically I'm just going
stock.
Basically I'm going round the disk like that without it.
Right, yes. So you're doing it, you're reading the disk sequentially even though the sectors are out of sequence.
Yeah, I'm doing it as fast as possible.
Okay, so you had to format your data to be on the tracks in that order, right?
I had to format my data in that manner, yes.
So it always goes clockwise?
This always runs clockwise, yes.
So if you write it with the stock interleave, but you read it with this interleave, you've sequenced the non-sequential, right?
Yes, exactly.
So basically, you're telling the controller, I want sector 1, then I want sector 12, which is immediately under the head, so it immediately reads it.
Exactly, yes.
But when you write it, you don't have to do anything special. It's going to do.
So it's a stock write and a custom read.
No, it's not a stock write. It's not a stock write. I mean, the disc itself is stock.
Mm-hmm.
It's a stock format, but the sectors are then written kind of out of order to match that order that you're reading them in 1, 12, 5.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
So what you got? So what you got here is basically like the equivalent of a defragged disk, where you're reading everything sequentially without any jumps with the head. So your seek time is much faster.
And it stacks up in memory in order.
If you look at
don't have to do any extra shifting there, right?
Okay, yes. And if you look at the next track, right now on the left-hand side at the upper screen, I've got the first track, 112.5.
Yep.
Look at the next one. It says 5:16.9.2. Well, why does it do that?
Because the disk is spun all the way around again.
Yeah, and I need 2 sectors to catch up, to animate, and to read without any delay. Bang,
Okay.
bang, 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 bang.
Okay. So your software is timed based on the disk timing and the disk spinning and everything else. So it's completely synchronous with the hardware.
Exactly.
Okay.
So how does the CPU keep up?
Well, let me show you something else.
Red Bull, right? Pour some Red Bull over that CoCo.
We'll turn CoCo into a
There you go.
Royal.
Royal Export.
Royal Export. That's how it keeps up.
We're going to need a quarter Red Bull.
Is it gonna be Royals? You know what's great about this, Simon? Because this tool is visual, it's easy for me to understand. If you were just explaining this verbally, I'd have a hard time following you. But the fact that we can see the numbers and we can see the tracks and the sectors, it kind of looks like a dartboard or a sliced pizza. That visualization helps me follow you. So I'm with you. Yeah.
I think you could just add some pop-ups.
This is Spock language because it says it's logical over there. If you do physical, does everything change and look bad?
Yeah, then it becomes Olivia Newton-John.
Saying you're using 2 sectors per track to do all the processing for the whole track. So you do a track and then you have to skip 2 sectors to do your processing, and then you do another track.
Yeah. And it's all sequential, and it just goes bang, 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 bang. So let me show you how the tool works. If I just grab a binary here, which is probably going to be this one.
Bear as in naked.
Bear as in
Yogi.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like chaos.
Looks like.
I've got a very small screen here, so I have to. There you go.
There you go.
There's my bear thing, which is actually the stuff, and I'm saying, okay, I wanna put that onto track. I can put that on any track I want.
Oh, so you're taking a chunk of data and you can specify where on the disk you want it to go.
Exactly.
Okay, so you have your samples broken into chunks that fit onto disk sectors?
Well, my sample is just a normal file.
Okay.
So all this is, I would imagine all this would significantly cut down on wear and tear on both the disk and the head as well.
Exactly. Exactly. So let me just find.
So this is fast for loading anything. Would be music or graphics.
Right. And just so you guys know too, I did that in MAME, and MAME is notoriously slow on floppy access. So the fact that that was fast in MAME is because MAME is sometimes slower than real CoCo's on the floppy. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's because the floppy driver in MAME doesn't actually do the interleaving correctly. It's actually a bug, and we so far haven't been able to convince them to fix it. It's because the way that MAME presents the disk image is not interleaved. So when the CoCo tries to read it, it has to actually wait for the disk to go around for the next sector to come by.
So it's waiting like a whole circumference of the track?
Yeah, so your interleave is 18 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Horrible.
Interleave is like 5 or,
The whole
Simon
track.
showed it before. So.
Well,
anyway.
yeah, but the effective interleave is the whole track. So
Yeah, right.
Yeah, with the main
so it
driver,
has to
yeah.
wait for sector 1, and then it has to wait for it to go around, and then it gets sector 2. So if you interleave it correctly, you can read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in order.
Now, what are we looking at here, Simon?
So I just dragged the binary file, which is actually the sample. It was actually the demo you're seeing. I dragged
Okay.
the binary file onto here.
Okay.
And I'll just say, okay, fine. Sorry. You can stage sectors individually if you want to.
Wow.
What do you mean by staged?
Staged to put onto a disk the way you want.
Okay, so on the left, we're looking at raw data, and then on the right, we're looking at how you're going to do your own custom defragmenting of it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So
at the top, you see there's a file name on the.
So this
right
is
side
this
has
is
the disk
basically
name.
kind of like a sector explorer, if you will, right? We're looking at all the sectors on the left, and can you literally drag and drop them from left to right?
Yeah, you can.
That's
Right
insane.
now.
That's insane.
Right now.
How much would you
Right
pay?
now, I can change the track. I can change the track. So if I wanted to stage this to, let's say, track 18, which is right after the directory, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so you just pumped all that data down there?
Yeah.
And it's doing the ordering based on how you want it set up based on the sector map.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
So do you just keep doing this till you find a sweet spot?
I spent a long time finding the sweet spot. It's like a good woman. So basically, okay.
Some will never find it.
We're going to stage this to. You see, it's populating.
Yeah, where it said data before, now we're seeing the actual data.
Yeah. So that's obviously the wrong file, but you can see exactly what's going on.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I can say commit.
Now it's going to write it to the DMK file.
Actually, read to DMK. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from this, if you wanted to, with this, then you could use something like the CoCo SDC to take that DMK and mirror it to a physical floppy if you had to.
You could.
You have to convert it to an SDF first. There's a slight formatting difference between DMK and SDF. They're pretty close, but not exactly the same. But yeah, once you run it through the converter, yeah.
So that was DMK edit, and I will actually plug Paul Fiscarelli for that because he came up with that madness based on my madness.
Doubly insane.
I said to him, well, look, okay, I want something formula like this because I want it as fast as it is possible. And he says, yeah, well, we can do that. We can do that. And we just bounced it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And we came up with this. And I actually used DMK edit for CoCo Fests. So that was DMK edit. That was.
I got a question. To even make it faster, is it possible to move the directory number 17 back to the bottom and then use the whole disk in a one after another and not have to skip the directory?
You wouldn't gain much because you're only just double skipping at the directory track. The directory is located in the middle, so that it's only half the disk to seek to it when you have lots of files. That's why they put it in the middle.
Oh.
I just wanted to stay compatible with a normal directory and DB and stuff like that. Because if you're going to do a DIR or a DIR, I call it DIR.
DIR.
You know, I know you Americans are like DIR.
D-I-R. Dir sounds like dird. You know that?
Now, Simon, I have a technical question. Have you experimented with doing a read track command? Does that give you an advantage, or is it a disadvantage? Or
well, read track would actually be faster, but you'd have to do post-processing, because read track would include the headers. It would include the
oh, right, yeah, the padding bytes and CRC checks and everything. Yeah, right, yeah.
It would include everything. And right now, my loader's not as fast as it could be. It's not as fast as it could be because none of the emulators actually emulate stuff like on the WDC 7093, you've got automatic track stepping and stuff like that. You can program automatic track stepping, and you can program automatic sector stepping and stuff like that. But none of the emulators actually support it.
So you have to do it on a real machine.
You have to do it on a real machine, but I want this to work on everything I can get it to work on.
Sure.
Just to be nice.
Simon, what's the ultimate goal here? Are you just trying to get an optimized loader that anybody could use for if they package something?
I don't know. My ultimate goal is probably in my own headspace.
Just to prove you can do it. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good enough.
Well, it's part of the demo. I mean, the technical demo is not just the graphics and the sound. It's the disk loader. It's everything. It's the whole package.
Showing off what can be done.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah. What's a floppy disk?
Somebody send Nick back to episode 1.
Was that Nick Varentis?
Yes.
It's like asking what a crikey is.
I love you too, Nick. I love you too, Nick.
What's a crikey?
What's a crikey?
Anyway, let's get down
to... It's a thing that'll eat you for breakfast.
Now, I have one other technical question. After you've gone through this, you've made the DMK, you've ran this utility on it to reformat it so it's a certain order. You have a software routine, and then we'll read the sectors. At that point, can you make it a regular disk file? Or does it still have to stay at DMK? Like, can you then just copy it onto a regular floppy?
You could do it as a DSK. You could do it as DSK, but and a DSK is probably just used on emulators and probably just used on the SDC, and it would still work, but it wouldn't be as fast because a DSK file is obviously formatted a completely different way.
Okay. The reason I was asking is that you can back up, use the backup command, for example, to back up a DSK image on an SDC to a real floppy. And would that work and would it still run as a fast load, or does it kind of get screwed up when you do that?
No, I actually asked back in the day, last year, when I was doing Gimme Games, I said to Ron Delvaux, well, excuse me, don't just copy this. Don't just copy this onto use a backup command for a specific reason.
Yeah, because that keeps the interleave and everything else proper, whereas a copy command will just redo it to whatever the interleave set for on that disk.
Exactly.
So you'd lose all the speed advantage if you did it that way.
Yeah, but I mean, your SDC is speedy enough as it goes.
Well, not only would you lose speed advantage, would you actually, at this point, fragment the data because it's not on the right track when you have your certain lookup table?
Well,
yeah, I think you have to use backup because otherwise that order would be lost.
Yeah, the order would be lost. Would be lost. And it probably, as Ron Delvaux said to me back in the day, because I got something wrong one day with the sector map. And he's like, oh, your girl's all discombobulated. You remember the bouncy girl going up and down?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
The one that got censored at CoCo Fest?
Yes.
And it's, no, she's discombobulated.
Well,
discombobulated.
I prefer the combobulated version of that image. So
so I got the wrong sector map, but let me show you. And most of you are probably going to go, oh god damn, are we going to do this kind of crap?
No, this is good stuff. We are long overdue for floppy talk. Matter of fact, if If I hadn't had one sooner,
It was good
we
enough.
would-
It actually got David back on the show.
Yeah,
So I mean,
yeah.
that's impressive in
I was
itself.
going to be in violation of my contract soon if I hadn't done this. So.
Oh yeah.
So here we've got some assembly going, which is just your basic DOS command at 2600.
Okay.
And the first 2 bytes are OS, and it jumps to 2602. And this just does your plasma tag and all this kind of turd. And then it loads.
I like the way you've commented your assembly there. Looks good.
Logo.
That's professional coding right there.
The font choice is nice too.
So I was going to look for. Sorry for my ancient DOS.
No, I had to do this on my Tandy 1000 the other day. These skills come in handy, man, when you need them the most.
Okay. So your actual code loads to 200. I've got complete control of the machine. What I want to show you was the actual loader. So it was like...
You have control of the vertical and the horizontal.
Yes, I do.
Exactly.
Total control over you.
Okay, so you will see that the loader actually goes into your nasty page, the one you can block out on the CoCo 3.
Ah, vector page.
Yes, it goes directly into the vector page. And this, my dear fellows, was your loader. And that's all there is to it. All right?
No, that's easy peasy.
And this bit is your segment up.
That's cool.
So I think Curtis will like that one. I think Curtis will like this one because that is really nasty.
Oh, you're installing it directly into the NMI vector?
Yes. And it's just an LAO S12, S RTS directly into the.
Yeah, eat the return address on the stack and return.
Yeah.
Or eat the whole stack frame, I should say. Yeah.
That's about as nasty as it gets.
I have to change that to a 14 S on a 609 native mode, though. Sorry, being nerdy here.
Yeah.
Technically.
I like what you've done there.
Well,
Love your work there. This is beautiful. This is fantastic. It's incredible.
Bigly good.
It's bigly good. I love the semicolons. Incredible semicolons.
Yeah, Simon.
And I can see Stevie's eyes glazing.
No.
Look at that alignment.
Simon, I would love to be able to study your code more. As you know, in the past, this is Mikey. As you know, in the past, I've taken a peruse at your code to see what you're up to. I guess you're working on a demo right now. Are you, after your demo is out, are you going to share any of your secrets like you did last time?
All this code is free for all when I'm done with it.
Yeah, right. After you release your demo, that would be awesome. It's real, really cool that you're willing to share your code so that we can learn things, learn cool
Absolutely.
stuff, cool, nerdy, geeky, floppy stuff.
Floppy stuff.
Now, Simon, we have a technical question from Sixy in the chat. He's asking about automatic track stepping. He says he can't find anything in the datasheet, even multi-sector type 2 commands implemented as you're using them don't say anything about advancing the track. So how did you find out about that?
I actually read multiple. I read multiple data sheets, and I found some stuff on an I think it was an Oric machine. An Oric machine that actually used the WDC 7092, 7093. And I found out about the automatic step and stuff like that. And I tried it on a real floppy and it works, but the emulator just does not do it.
Well, it's not well documented because I don't remember seeing that either. And I mean, is there a difference between the documentation or even the chips themselves and how they work between a 1773 and the 1793?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, but anyone could see here that everything is actually. You can see, if for example here, I'm saying 8090, and my 80 is in A, right? And 90 would be auto sector increment on the FDC itself.
So you don't have to rewrite the sector number to the controller; it's already done for you, basically.
Exactly. Exactly, but nobody supports it.
I don't think anybody knew about it. I don't think it's in most of the controller manuals I've seen.
Nobody knows about it, and you know
this is like that 256 color mode, I think. You know, except you've actually found it.
I spent so much time actually working out how to load something faster than shit off a shovel.
There's another one of them technical terms for the audience.
Well,
that's actually the name of this episode this week is Welcome to CoCoTALK, shit on a shovel.
Notice it doesn't sound right in the American accent, though. It sounds better.
Yeah. He did clean up his label to poop, I saw earlier, though.
He sprayed the shovel with Pam.
If it's British, it would be shite on a spade.
I'm waiting for the shit on a shovel emoji now is what I'm waiting for.
Poop, jump 200.
So how an Oric vacuum helped a color computer floppy?
ORIC.
Shite on a spade.
Shite on a spade.
Just goes to show you should read multiple document data sheets because you never know what you're going to discover when you start checking out the same sheet for other things.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is too is you do sometimes have to explore the hardware directly and just experiment too. I mean, the 6309 that wasn't documented anywhere because Hitachi wasn't allowed to until hobbyists started experimenting with why is this crashing differently than it does in a 6809? That's how they discovered all that. So maybe somebody was this official documentation that had this, Simon, or was that somebody's typed in version that maybe they discovered it and added it themselves?
Let me just bring it up.
Because I know I've done, not recently, but I've done quite a bit of research on this too when I was actually working with the drivers for the disto no halt, and I was trying to learn how the floppy worked at that time. And I don't remember seeing anything about the auto,
so
whatever
folks,
one I'd found.
This is how sausage is made.
Sausage.
Oh boy, look at that.
I like sausage.
Yeah.
Have we gone below SteveCon 5?
I'm fine.
Okay, good.
He's napping ready. It's no problem this time.
Hey Steve, did you install those handholds on your chair?
No, I'm actually I was going to go get my spade so I can.
You see, we have the actual.
So this is an actual data sheet.
Data sheet for the FTC 1793. Yeah.
Right timing, interleave timing, all that good stuff.
Oh, you go into a lot of detail, don't they?
Encoding.
Everything is there.
Yeah, what your gaps are, how big they should be, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And CoCo didn't do that right.
And one of Paul Fiscarelli's tools lets you look at the information visually like that too. He's got a grease weasel visualizer.
And that would be Italian sausage.
Italian sausages.
Actually, the editor that Simon was showing earlier was showing that stuff on the right pane sometimes, depending on which view he was in too.
Okay. Yeah.
So here we go. This is a different document I found on the Oric.
Track register, sector register, command register. So this is writing to the controller instead of writing to the registers of the CPU. You're writing to the controller.
Yeah, that's at FF489AB, I think, or something.
Deep B is out the window. As soon as my DOS command fires, Deep B is out the window. Everything's out the window. It's total hardware.
Oh yeah, there you are. Track update flag. Yeah, I'm sure that's not documented in the original Western Digital ones that I remember.
No,
There you go.
I did see it. I was just looking. It's there, but I don't think they may not really talk about it elsewhere in the document. It's just like, oh, the flag is here, because they showed the same table in the data sheet.
Now, is that 1793 or 1773? Because I know the original CoCos uses 1793 and later ones use 1773. I don't know if there's a difference there or not.
This is 93 here.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that's the original.
But if you look at it, it says FD
7
7 and 1780. Yeah.
So 1770 and 1780 series, yeah.
Yeah. So it's in there. It's in there. And you just gotta dig deep. You just gotta dig deep. If you want to move forward, you gotta dig deep.
I guess I dug shallowly when I last did this because I missed that completely.
There's a reason Gimme Games took me over a year to perfect, and it's still not finished.
I apparently had too much shite on my spade there, and I wasn't able to dig deep enough, so I apologize.
Sounds like a load of crap to me.
You know better, Curtis. Now you know better.
That's cool. I might have to revisit the driver in Amos 9 again then, too.
Yeah, so
that would be handy.
Retro Innovations is chiming in at this point. He's saying the FD 1791 through 1797 series added internal support for double density MFM modulations compatible with IBM System 34 disk format. The 1771 was succeeded by many derivatives that were mostly software compatible. And then we added an internal digital data separator and write pre-compensator. Ooh, a pre-compensator.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, I remember that from the 1793 because you had to build it in the driver.
Okay, I'm on the wrong screen right now. I'm on there. There we go. There we go. All right.
Sorry, I stopped sharing.
Yep. Very good. Cool. So, and I just want to make sure I followed this, Simon. So obviously we saw the demo. And so just from somebody looking at this from the outside looking in, you typed in DOS, you very quickly saw the disc go chuck, 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 and then boom, bim, 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 bum, 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 and it starts playing the sample. So you got the music loaded very quickly. So on the front end, 58K was loaded in chuck, 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 and then bum, 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 bum. So boom, it was up there. Now what we were just looking at was kind of under the microscope. We're looking at the anatomy of the disc and the data and how the data is sprayed around the disk and the different interleaving and how the different sector rotations are happening, all this kind of stuff. So your software is timed and synced with the physical disk rotations, and your data is meticulously carved around that disk in a way where it's loading, and that's just like wicked mad next level shite on a spade right there, man.
I like onions and peppers with my sausage.
Is that the name of the episode?
Yes.
Would you like some chipotle with that?
Yeah. So now that's really cool, man. That's really cool. And I was able to follow it because as long as there's something slightly visual to come with it, I can follow it. You know. And it's funny.
If you think about how the normal disc is going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and how many rotations it'll actually take when there's like 4 sectors between everyone it's reading. But if I can load 18 sectors in one revolution, right, I'm 5 times faster than you'll ever be.
Yeah,
that's revolutionary.
Can't you make the disc spin at 600 instead of 300?
Wrong.
Hey, Ron, did you ever see the video of somebody put a CD on like some kind of they put a CD on something that spun it at like thousands of RPM and it broke apart. I'll see if I can find the YouTube video of that for you, Ron.
Okay,
that's the answer to your question.
I mean, is it possible to overclock a floppy drive? I mean, there's something mechanical to it, right? There's something mechanical to the drive.
David Ladd this question, because I believe he's done it.
All right, now David Ladd, you've been silent this whole time. Now we've been talking about floppy stuff, David. How do you feel?
Oh yeah, babe. No, well, see, one of the things that when you talked about, Ron, doubling the RPM of a floppy, really, if you wanted to get data faster, that's when you switch to like high density. Because high density, your data rate goes from 250 kilobits per second to 500 kilobits per second. So if you have like one of the 2 oldest floppy controllers for the CoCo that can be modded for high density, Well, right there, you get double the read speed because you're at twice the data rate.
Hear that,
The
Simon?
David Ladd. Wait.
So twice the read speed because you're at double the data rate. That seems to correlate.
Yep.
You just like
Look at Stevie doing
word
writing.
correlated there.
We'll have the boys in the lab check that out.
Yeah.
David Ladd, you've been around a lot of floppies in your life. I know with computers, I've had my Model 4 smoke. You know, have you ever had floppies give off a little smoke?
Only when they were rubbing too fast.
Oh, good night, everybody.
Was that a long
That's it.
was that a tiptoe around the question of saying, David, have you ever smoked a floppy? I mean, what are we getting at here? So
He just didn't inhale.
I was being polite.
He's being polite. All right. Well, all this floppy talk. I believe we need to run a floppy-based commercial now at this point. So where is that? Where is it? Here we go. All right, we'll be back. Hold on. Let me go ahead and share this so you guys can enjoy.
Share and enjoy.
So you guys can enjoy this. We're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to hear about floppies on the commercial break, and then we'll be back with more talking about floppies.
And now these messages.
Hello, I'm David Ladd. Thank you for watching CoCo Talk, the world's leading live CoCo Talk show.
Good night. This is Nick Marionettes. Crikey. After you buy Gunstar...
Stop right there.
Okay, fine. After you bought Gunstar, go ahead and buy your copy of the CoCo Fest edition of...
Nightmare Highway. Nightmare Highway.
It's a quarter of the quality at half the cost.
ESP 8266-01 RS232 TTL Wi-Fi network, 4-pin DIN, Bitbanger, DB9, PC IP, DriveWire.
This portion of CoCo Talk brought to you by Placeblex Dietary Supplement. Placeblex, thought to help you with your floppy life.
In a world where hard drives rule and floppies are superfluous, one man, one legend, one old fart dared to learn the floppy and took the brunt of jokes. Then all hard drives and SSDs died, but the floppy survived. And the only man who knew floppies became a legend once more. Floppy Life, the David Ladd story. This summer, straight to YouTube.
8-slot MPI, floppy drive, CoCo SDC, Sound Speech Pack, Orchestra 90, RS232 pack, modem pack, Super IDE. You start adding all those together if you want them all usable at the same time. Well, guess what? You just went over the 4-slot MPI. David Ladd. Oh, I'm much happier breaking stuff.
All right, we are back with everyone's favorite topic, boys and girls, floppy talk.
I want everybody to remember safe floppying.
Safe flopping, that's right. Make sure you wrap that floppy in its sleeve.
In the sleeve.
Keep your floppy in its
Don't
sleeve.
bend it.
That's right.
In the last commercial there where it had superfluous.
Insert carefully. It says
Put your finger
never.
in the slot.
Never touch it.
Don't finger your floppy.
Don't finger
Yeah.
your floppy.
And keep it cool. And no magnetization.
All right.
Safe
So
floppying, everybody.
protect it. Don't bend it. Insert it carefully. That's very important. Proper insertion is always important. Never touch that shiny part there. You have to check the temperature. So put a thermometer in your floppy from time to time to check its temperature. And then every now and then you want to just magnetically realign the heads by putting a magnet right there in the center of the floppy.
I think you're misreading that, Stevie.
Am I misreading that? Okay. So
my floppy's got a hernia.
Can I tell you a funny story?
Does anyone remember software installs on floppies?
Oh yeah,
Slackware.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I still have a box of Linux floppies somewhere.
Yeah, that's one Slackware install with.
I did a 20 floppy OS 2 install.
Wow, Simon, what were you just saying?
Yeah, can I tell you a funny story about that? 'Cause
Yeah.
Back on the C64. Yes, I did do C64. A lot of C64. Here we go.
Kelly learned better.
Here we go.
Says the Apple guy.
A bunch of C64 floppies here, right?
I've got you beat. I just got a C64. I've got 2 giant peach crates filled with floppies of C64s that I haven't looked through yet.
When I was making demos back on the C64, and when we were cracking games and stuff like that, yes, I was a cracker. You can look
Don't
me
copy
up.
that floppy.
I would never have guessed.
CSDP. We were cracking games, stuff like that, and we were zitty teenagers, right? That didn't have any money because we were just doing paper rounds.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have any money, but we were trying to spread stuff about. And back then, you couldn't spread it over the internet because the internet didn't exist. So it was like, okay, how can I send floppies as cheaply as possible, right? Because you sent them to a you didn't send someone's actual address because they might get done for pirating software. You sent it to like a post office box. So what we done, if you take a floppy, let me grab a floppy here. You take a floppy and you look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happens if you just cut the top of it? Yeah, just cut it. You got the magnetic.
Yeah, you get the mylars in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of sending 20 discs, right, which was plastic, it would fill a lot and it would weigh a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So you just took the actual floppy disk itself out and you shoved like 3 or 4 or 5 of them in one jacket.
Okay. And
you sent one disc.
David Ladd's cringing right now.
That's an early form of compression, I think.
Double space or drive space, you call it?
Yeah, right. So you put a whole
zip the top of it off, and that's how zip came to be. No, I'm just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, we did that. Instead of sending that.
Well, Eric, here's another thing you could have done. You could have put the address of your friend as the return address and put your address in there without a stamp, put it in the mailbox. Postman would say, hey, how'd this get here? They didn't mail it, and then they would just bring it back for free. So,
are you speaking from experience here, Stevie? Or?
How did this get here?
Or if you make a collect call to home and your name is, Mom, I'm done at the mall. Can you come pick me up?
Simon, did you ever have any issues with print through with keeping magnetic with the discs so close together like that?
No, because I mean they got. It's not like the postal service today, right? It takes over a fucking week for a letter to get from one place to another.
Across the street.
And back in the day, it was like next morning.
Well, if you think of it, magnetic material on a cassette tape is touching each other.
Yeah,
that's exactly why I asked that, because you do get issues with print through on audio cassettes.
It takes
well, yeah, but it takes years for print through.
Yeah,
to
that's
happen.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember the floppy mailers. They were kind of like a cardboard, cardboard sleeve, floppy mailer thing that you could buy at one point in time.
I like the idea of take the discs out, and take the physical Mylar discs out, stick them in a magazine, and send it media mail.
Stick it in a magazine, huh?
Well, I have to say,
just between pages of the magazine.
Right, it's like 30 pounds for $1 or something. It's crazy what you can ship media for.
Maybe I'm just insane, but back in when I was doing that in the early 80s, we just used BBSs.
yeah, but he wants to send a whole floppy. But yeah, BBS and your phone
it's slow,
lines.
but I mean, you didn't have to worry about
five
getting
floppies.
intercepted by police or something, because we did have some people, some of the crackers around my city did get caught. I knew some of them.
Oh wow.
Well, one of the things that with the slitting the floppy cover open is that that was one of the ways that I used to recover floppies, because like if someone spilled something and it got inside the fabric inside the floppy, I'd actually cut it open, clean the actual Mylar, and then use a donor floppy, a new floppy disk, pull out the Mylar from that one and put the Mylar from the damaged disk into the new floppy disk.
Note to self: on organ donor card, check floppy.
I've also seen some really weird heat damage where the case gets warped, so you can't actually use the disc anymore. But the
I have a
Mylar's
couple
fine.
of those.
Yeah, so you basically slit them, pull them out, put them in a donor.
Leaving them out in the sun is as bad as leaving them on a magnet. I mean, not quite bad.
So what warps faster, the outer plastic than the Mylar itself? So the Mylar itself is pretty resilient.
Yep.
Well, it's also mostly protected, except for the the ring and stuff to hold it on the cap when you.
I have never heard. That's an interesting thing. I've never heard of swapping the innards of a floppy from one jacket to another. What is that?
I've done a couple. The exact same reason that David mentioned. If you spill something on it, you can clean the Mylar off because it's magnetics. That you're not, as long as you don't use like a magnetic face cloth or something, which I think most people don't have, it should work fine. And then you just transfer it, because basically that cloth is meant to clean the floppy as it's spinning. But if it's caked in with like Coca-Cola or Dr. Pepper diet, for chance, then you can solve the
Who
problem.
spilled Diet Dr. Pepper? That makes sense.
And water.
Yeah. Does David have?
He's wanting to rest the world.
That's something that you don't want to put anywhere near your floppies.
Oh, is that a big old magnet?
It's a tape head demagnetizer.
Tape head demagnetizer. Oh, degausser.
Yep.
Yeah, we used to have that black thing. It looked like an iron you can set on a.
The big old Radio
VHS
Shack
tape.
boy.
Ah.
Yeah.
Kevin Holloway says a friend of mine removed the Mylar disc and used the jacket for storing CDs instead of buying cases. That's interesting. And nobody would steal your music collection if they were in floppies.
No, they just put it in the trash.
Yeah. Interesting.
If that's hard, it wouldn't be a floppy anymore, would it?
And that's funny. So what people don't realize, in the 8-inch floppies and the 5 1/4-inch floppies, you can physically see the floppy ability of the media. But when the 3.5-inch discs came out that were in the plastic shell, a lot of people started calling those things hard discs because they were looking at the plastic case, and they didn't realize that inside there was still the Mylar, the round Mylar disc, which the disc itself has always been floppy. It's just it went from a pliable jacket to a rigid jacket when it went to the 3.5 ones. They were a little bit better protected from the elements and stuff like that. So I remember people saying, "Hey, we have a hard disk." I'm like, that's still floppy.
So, and the 3.5 also added that little door, so
the little slidable door to protect
where the heads would normally go, whereas the 5 1/4s and 8s were just wide open.
Yeah.
So since we're,
I remember all the debates about the names of them. People saying, "Oh, you can't call a 3.5-inch a floppy disk because it's not floppy," and it's like, "Well, yes, it is. It's just the case isn't."
Right. Yeah. What's that, Ron? Ron Delvaux, you've been trying to chime in.
Since we're getting into the minute stuff, what is Mylar? Is it a form of plastic? It's different plastic than the plastic on the outside, right? Mylar. What is Mylar? It's not a plastic, or is it a plastic? What is it exactly? I mean, there's Mylar on the outside of the lunar module that kept it, in the spacesuits they had Mylar. What is Mylar?
Anybody? Anyone? David, you should know this. You should have that answer queued up and ready to go.
Is it a plastic?
It is plastic.
There's no chemists here. We can't tell you what Mylar is, but it's like Delrin and all these other things they made up. It's
definitely a plastic because it's used for comic collecting. If you want decent jackets for your comics, it's Mylar.
So the original
polyethylene
definition
tetraphthalate. It's a PET plastic.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a well-known fact that.
But it has magnetic powder in it.
It has a
well,
binder
it
that
is
has magnetic
embossed
powder on it.
on it. Yes.
Yeah, it's adhered to the
Not
outside.
in it.
It's stuck on it with a binder, just like tapes. So
Now there's also been some videos I've seen on YouTube, which where people show trying to clean the mylar parts of the floppy disks, and they're using isopropyl alcohol. Never use isopropyl alcohol on a floppy disk, because
clean.
everything off it.
all of the magnetic material will be removed off of the mylar, because the alcohol destabilizes the bonding agent.
So is that better than using a one of those magnetic block things?
You heard it here first.
Permanently
Alcohol destabilizes bonding agents, folks. Stay away from alcohol. It's bad, right?
Read Al Hartman's comment.
What's that?
Al Hartman says, I worked in the New York City Board of Education. Teachers used to stick floppies to the side of their filing cabinets using magnets.
Oh. Now where did I leave my flower? Oh, let me just use this this pin here, and I'll just pin it up to the corkboard.
Right.
That could be better.
Yes.
Oh, Al, that's great. Use naphtha. I'm sure.
So what is the recommended floppy mylar cleaning product?
Usually I've used warm water when I've had to disassemble a floppy. Left it in warm water for a little bit so that way it would loosen the grime, and then I'd rinse it off.
Dissolve the sugar.
Right, and then let it thoroughly dry. Of course, you should always use distilled water, because you don't want your hard minerals getting on the media. And then after that, you just stick it in a new donor floppy disk, and then
a new foreskin.
Recover your data.
Can we call this things foreskins, just so we know what we're talking about? Or
no?
No.
You don't want dust to be in the dust cover, because that dust will actually score the.
Rob Edmonds says a warm, gentle sponge bath followed by a candlelit dinner.
Oh yeah. Let's see if we can do this here.
Are you gonna circumcise a floppy right now?
No.
Okay.
Let's see if I can get this to work. You can actually if I tote this right, you can actually see the scoring on the disc. I don't think that's going to come through on Zoom.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to do. But if this 8-inch floppy here, if I look at it, it definitely has, you can see scoring on it.
Take a picture.
Or discs.
Because then you can
magnify. Yeah, you can take a digital picture and zoom in on it, right?
Sure.
Shoots
I can do
and
that.
scores.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that I have, most of my floppies are 30 years, and you see a lot of that. And you wonder, is it going to work?
Of course, all these computers have magnets in them.
David, you said you clean floppies with like soapy water and stuff like that. Did you ever had issues with actual like rust particles on the magnetic surface?
Not me. I've had some floppies not long ago that I was doing some cleaning because they had been donated to me a few years ago when a friend passed away, and a lot of the floppies actually had mold on them. So I spent the time going through every single floppy, cleaning them. But I actually tried an experiment because I figured at this point mold might eat the material anyway.
Well, you don't want to lick your floppy there.
No.
Yeah. So I went through and used deoxit.
Ooh,
on
deoxit.
And I just used a little bit and ran it so that way it would loosen the material and let the actual floppy's internal felt that usually is used to catch dirt to wipe off the contaminants. And then after that, the floppies worked perfectly fine. I had a few bad ones, but those, the mold kind of just ate away the magnetic material, but
Oh yeah, we can see some of the grooves there that Mikey just shared. Is that what you're talking about? The scoring there, we can kind of see the grooves on the disc. Yeah.
Yep.
Groovy.
That's what I'm talking about.
Do you know if that particular disc works?
I don't know. I don't have an 8-inch drive. I have no idea what this disc is actually for. So.
Oh.
Mikey, you just have no drive.
Oh.
I wonder if
Guess I'm lifeless then.
I wonder if the baking technique would work on drives, on discs that have got mold on them. With old tapes, they get what they call sticky shed syndrome. You bake them in an oven for 8 hours at 50 degrees Celsius.
Did I hear
completely
bacon?
removes all the contamination.
Bacon.
There's a bacon method. Why haven't I heard about this?
The new kind of sausage.
That with eggs and hash browns or home fries.
David, I think there's a pretty big difference in between a floppy disk and an audio tape. The floppy disk is flat and not really flexed, versus the tape is, it's all wrapped around itself. I would think that the binder would be stressed a lot less on a disc than on a tape. It does obviously it can come off if you, as we discussed, if you clean it with alcohol, but.
Yeah, the baking technique though isn't just for the binder. It's the baking technique works extremely well for moldy tapes as well. It'll remove the mold almost completely.
Does the mold just turn into bread at that point once you bake it? You just have a little.
Proper supply of penicillin at that point.
Yeah.
Simon, was there more? And I'm not. Was there more you were going to talk about floppies, or was that we're pretty good with what you had to show so far?
I think I demonstrated the point.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's cool.
But we could get a little bit faster. But I'm good where we are.
Yeah, well, when you have a new speed boost, you can come on back and show it to us again. And if I know ahead of time, I can maybe even be set up to do it on real hardware. I didn't see your message in time to be queued up for that.
That's fine. I'm not. I mean, I don't have much time right now due to family reasons. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I won't go into it. But. Okay, I just wanted to kind of show you because I think, people were kind of wowed by, well, how did you get so many colors? Right? How did you play samples like that? And people just kind of missed the fact there was a custom directory for one, and there was a wicked fast loader. Just went dook, 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 dook.
Yeah, it was wicked fast. Cool.
So that's kind of.
Do you ever code hosted anywhere, Simon? Or are you just going to put it on your website when you're ready to release it?
I don't have it hosted anywhere. I should probably set up a GitHub at some point.
Yes, please do.
I should probably set up a GitHub at some point, but all my code is free and I always post it on my own website, and you can find anything and everything on there. You can see data sheets, everything, all the kind of turd I've been playing with.
Shite on a spade.
Since we're talking about floppies, it wasn't too long ago I heard that the government in the mountain where they do all the NORAD stuff and everything, they were using 8-inch floppies for some of their computers.
Missile
because
silos.
They were secure. Yeah, because they were secure. You
I heard that they upgraded.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. But just recently, they were still using it.
Yeah.
Yeah, now they got GoTex now, so they're upgraded.
Yeah.
8-inch floppy that's built like a tank.
Built like a tank.
My former employer used that same theory. They ran Ubuntu that was about 12 years old. No one was writing for it anymore. No one wrote any viruses against it anymore. No one thought about it anymore. Right. It was secure.
It's the Battlestar Galactica of operating systems. So.
Just don't ask for any features and you're fine.
Right.
If you look at a lot of synthesizers, they've actually got floppy drives in them.
Yeah, oh yeah. Roland had those. A lot of them. Most of them that I saw were 3.5, but there might have been some 5 1/4.
No, mostly 3.5, but a lot of synthesizers have floppy disks in them.
I've got a heap of them here. I've got a room full of them.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that's where these GoTex and these floppy emulators really came out, not only for retro stuff but for other things too. Like I've known people who'd had like embroidery machines and stuff too, that where they had to load the different patterns and stitch work into the embroidery machines or fancy sewing machines over floppies. And, floppy drives will eventually wear out. It's a mechanical part, right? So and so these GoTex are great ways to emulate floppies by letting you put the images on there, but nothing beats the real deal.
Back in the day, what was fun is to be able to use the other side of the floppy and put a notch in there.
The flippy.
Punch a hole. And then the other thing was when they come out with colored ones.
Yes, the different.
That was like awesome.
Different colored sleeves. Yeah.
Not just black.
Yeah. So
there was red, blue,
yes,
green.
Yeah. And so you could buy a 10-pack of different colors. You get like a pack of rainbow floppy disks. Yeah. I just ordered a bag of new stock off of eBay. I got 50 floppies. I believe they're like light blue, sky blue. A bag of 50 floppies, and I got it for like $30. So I got new stock 5 1/4 floppies coming to me.
Well, even in the CoCo commercial market, and Simon's holding up some right now.
Yeah.
But the CoCo commercial market actually had a few of the vendors that actually specifically chose certain colors for certain games that they would sell.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Nick Marenti's, when he was selling stuff like Gate Crasher and Pac-Man back in the day, those were on colored floppies.
Yeah,
look
at what do you got there, Mikey? Yeah, different colors. Oh, so Mark Overholzer, last year you gave me a box of new old stock floppies. They were Max L's. I have them right here. I think they were red. I had to use they were Black Label. Hold on, let me see.
Okay.
You know what really sucked is having labels, and then instead of just replacing the label, we always used a marker and scratched it off, and then put another name on it, and then scratch that off, and then put another name. Then you have to turn it sideways because
I've already put them back, but yeah, I could. The irony of it was I needed to back up my Tandy's hard card because I bought an XT IDE controller. I couldn't find the floppies that came with the Tandy 1000, so I had to literally break the seal on the box that you gave me. It was still shrink wrapped.
I got it. Give it to you for your Apple. But
yeah, we'll redo it. But I needed to back up everything on. It's talking about FloppyTALK. I went through 10 floppies, hand DOS copying stuff one floppy at a time because I had to back up the DOS directory, the Norton Commander directory. I mean, I literally went through all 10 of those floppies. But
you're going to need more.
Yeah, but then after I was done, I found the box of floppies that came with the Tandy 1000 that had the DOS installed discs and the boot discs and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, son of a biscuit. So yeah, but yeah, I actually ordered some floppies because I'm going to be producing stuff on floppy in the near future too. So brand new colored floppies, neat.
Do they still sell the 720?
Yeah, I think 3.5. I think new stock of 3.5 is much more easier to get than 5 1/4 now. But 5 1/4 you can still get.
Yeah, the 720s are harder to find because I've been looking for some.
Oh, really? Okay.
I have some right here.
Mikey's got a seal.
Dyson branded.
Dyson.
Thanks to the Weird Stuff Warehouse that's no more. That's where most of these came from. I always trolled there to find all these boxes, find all these boxes of floppies.
So speaking of 720K floppies, here is what's left of Connect on 720K floppies. This is a stream backup that I loaded into Nitrous Beta 5 recently as H1. So I have most of my stuff back after the hard drive crash. But yeah, floppies for the win. These are all 720Ks, and I'm not ever going to rewrite them because, hey, I might need to reload them again.
Yeah.
They're only 20 years old. They got some life left.
Absolutely.
Set them on top of that big speaker you got back
there. Yeah, Simon's trying to say something. What were you going to say, Simon?
You can take 144s. You can take 144s like this. You've got like 2 holes, but you just cover one hole up. You cover one of those holes up, and you've got a 720.
I don't think that's
recommended. The theory was they're too hard magnetically, so they don't write well.
That's the experience we had because we tried that at work and it was not 100% reliable. It's like we could not use them for backup discs or anything else because some would work, some wouldn't. Some would work for a bit and then quit. And
it's your Orsteds or something like that, right?
Personally, I've not had an issue with it. Another thing I was going to talk about was like back on the C64. I don't know if you guys on the CoCo stuff, when you were spreading discs about to each other or something, if someone did like custom disc covers. like with artwork on the disc covers.
Like the sleeve itself, you mean?
Yeah, well, look, it's a custom disc cover.
Oh, neat.
Hmm.
And when we would spread stuff to each other, this is just custom disc cover. We'd spread stuff to each other, and it's like, so groups got to know each other kind of that way.
Okay.
And so it was not just about cracking games and spreading discs. It was a complete underground culture.
Mm.
Rainbow
I
has
remember.
disc sleeve.
Yeah, there was programs like the TP10 was good for directory printing, and then you tear it off and tape it onto the cover, and you'd have a directory of that particular floppy. I have a bunch of those that the tape is dried up and falls off.
The thermal paper will eventually fade too.
Not if it's covered.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's an interesting idea though. Yeah.
In the heat, it's bad, but
yeah.
Yeah, we did that with the CGP 115 because it was about the same size, but it was non-thermal paper, so you didn't have to worry about getting it in sunlight or anything. And and you can do colors too. Like this, my games are all in green, and my utilities are in red or whatever.
And I found if you tape magic tape over thermal print, it disappears.
Yeah, another thing, I have some cassette tapes that somebody had a Model 1 system with that silver printer, and they put the labels of the stuff on the tape on the silver paper and put that in the cassette. So I have a few of those to show up. Sometime I'll show you. That's pretty cool looking. I don't think anybody has that silver paper anymore, do they?
Nah, I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
I remember seeing them. I don't know if anybody has any
particular
of those
printer that used silver paper.
It uses aluminum oxide that's burned off. At
Right.
least
Wasn't that
the
the
ones for
quick
the
print?
Sinclair.
Quick Print 2 or something? Wasn't that the Tandy one?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah.
So I have that I'm going to show. Then the other thing is I used to take labels and put it in my DMP 110 and print graphic labels for my floppies using my Signcom logo and stuff. And if I had multiple, I'd have, disc 1, disc 2, disc 3, disc 4, but they all had the nice logo on there, and it was in color, and it looked sharp. And sometimes I'd sit there and lay them out, splay them out and think, well, look at that. It looks so professional.
Yeah, it looks better than the handwriting on a felt tip pen on a multi-lined label, right?
Yep.
I do remember running labels through my DMP 105 about 6 times to make them look a little better on my products.
Yeah.
Just print, overprint. Hey, it's smooth now.
So, I think I've told this story before. I had all of my original CoCo floppies probably until maybe late 80s, early 90, and then they got lost by a friend. Every now and then when I see a box of floppies, like somebody selling random floppies on eBay, I kind of look at the pictures and zoom in to see if maybe I can recognize my handwriting. Hey, maybe somebody got my old floppies and I'll find them. It's a 1 in a billion chance, but I do that sometimes just in case.
So do you remember the name of the guy that you gave them to?
Yeah, it was my friend's brother, and he had him in an apartment. He got evicted and lost all my CoCo and all the stuff that came with it.
Is he still alive?
I have no idea. I haven't talked to him. It's been 20 years since I've been in that part of the world. So,
he probably still has them.
Wouldn't that be something?
Wouldn't it?
It would. That would be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went through Adventures in Floppies this week too because I had my Tandy 1000 that I bought last year at CoCo Fest. The hard card was not working, and then I got it working and I got it booted, but I'm like, I'm not taking any chances. So I want to back it up. So I'm having to go back to muscle memory using old MS-DOS commands. And the box of floppies I got from you, Mark Overholzer, they were not pre-formatted. You remember? There was a time later in the life of floppies they were already pre-formatted that you could just pop in them and use them. But no, these were not pre-formatted. So I had to format all 10 floppies. And I had to do one of them with the format :/S to make it bootable. And you start to copy. And I was like, I wonder if I can get really sneaky. I wonder if I could do an X copy, to the floppy, and then when it says out of disk space, I could just keep swapping floppies and it would continue. But no, the minute it says disk full, the copy stops. So now I could get one chunk of files on one floppy. Now I have to start manually copying in file by file to get everything off to these damn floppies. And a 360K floppy and a 10E1000 fills up pretty quick, right? So DOS 5.0 took like 5 or 6 floppies to get everything.
Did you think about compressing them up first? Zipping them up?
I didn't have zip on there. I know. No. No. But
did DOS 6 or any of the future DOSes fix that?
What, compression?
So you could do that? No, so you could do multiple disks.
Oh, I don't know.
I think there were third-party tools.
There might have been. But yeah, so I mean, I'm just doing this all by hand and on the fly. But yeah, having to relive the days of MS-DOS on the Tandy 1000, and it's amazing what this comes right back. It's like literally like muscle memory. I mean, I spent decades in DOS, before we went to the full Windows world. So,
CB, if you're going to mess with that, I recommend you get a tool called Xtree Pro.
Okay.
Xtree Pro, Xtree Gold. Yep.
And then you can just kind of keep highlighting and copying and highlighting and copying. And
it's like actually what it does is it lets you tag all your files and you start copying, and then when it runs out of space, you can just switch to the next disk.
Okay, that's what I was hoping to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like this hard drive is working for at least the next 15 minutes. Quick, what do I type?
Right. So, but yeah, I ordered an XT IDE for the Tandy 1000. It's a little tiny card, man. It's tiny. The printed circuit board is no wider than the edge connector of that ISA slot. So it's a really small PCB. It's got basically the BIOS on it and a compact flash socket, and that's it, right? But it boots up. It's got and so it emulates. It's got an 8-bit slot that emulates IDE. I guess it must do 2 passes because ISA bus is only 8-bit and IDE is 16-bit. So somehow it's doing that translations and it's doing everything, and it's using a compact flash card as the hard drive. It's really cool, and it was like $40 shipped with the compact flash card. So I upgraded my real hard drive to that modern hard drive, and that was the little project I had to do. It was kind of cool. And all kinds of neat toys out there in the retro world.
Speaking of CF cards, probably out of subject a little bit, I have this Canon 40D camera I've had since 2012, and I've used this 4 gigabyte card for thousands and thousands and thousands of pictures, and I've brought it in the house, dumped the pictures, went back out, night after night. I have hard drives filled with pictures I've taken of astronomy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And what's amazing is the sucker still works, and it doesn't really show any age. It's amazing. It's like, how many years is that? 8 years?
Yeah, I remember the first digital camera we bought. My daughter is now 18. When she was still like in utero, and we're starting to get ready to take baby pictures. My first digital camera had I want to say 4 megabyte compact flash card, or 32 megabyte compact flash card. It's just amazing. Yep. It was and with 1 megapixel pictures and on that CF card. But yeah, to me, those are always synonymous with old digital cameras, the CF cards. What is that? 2.0 gigabyte. Wow, look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's from my Nikon D200.
Now they will wear out. Does flash storage does wear out, right? Isn't there like a maximum number of writes before they fail, right?
8 megabytes, baby.
Yep. Oh, look at that.
The gift to us all is a compact flash card is the IDE interface in the body of a card.
Okay.
You could get little drives. They had gigabyte floppy drives that were
compact flash
drives.
Yeah, so the reason everyone went to compact flash right away was because it is an IDE, so you don't really have to do any interface changes per se. So it's very simple to do. SD cards came a lot later because SD is its whole thing, and you need a real processor to convert it.
Okay, so you're saying the compact flash is an IDE form? I'd say the IDE bus that goes right to it.
Pretty much.
You can format a compact flash and connect it directly to a IDE bus and use it as a boot drive on a computer.
Yeah, that's what Mark Marlette did with the Super IDE. It was just directly connected to the IDE bus on it. There's a lot of routers back in the day I used to.
Oh yeah,
service
Cisco routers.
That was their hard drive.
Yep, Cisco routers used them all the time.
Oh, I probably have one of those in
Yeah,
hidden away in the box
Matter of
somewhere.
fact, when I was at the Ham show with Jason and Sarah, I bought a few compact flash cards for like $5 each, so I knew I'd need them one day. And some of them said Cisco on the CF card, you know. So
Did you guys ever see memory like this?
Was that a micro SD card? Oh, that looks like a SIM card or something.
It's a funky camera thing.
Well, it was in a
Is it the Sony Memory Stick Duo?
no, the backside is blank, but it was memory inside of a machine that we had for AT&T for their.
It looks like a SIM card or a micro SD.
It looks like a smart card to me.
Smart card, okay.
Yeah, it has that same thing that's on your, your
credit cards and
the smart chip,
Wanda cards.
Yeah, so I got it sitting here when I threw out the machine, and I'm thinking, I wonder what size it might be.
It's not a CoCo project, but it could be.
I think I have you guys all beat. This right here is an 8 megabyte SD card.
Oh.
I had the 8 megabytes. I did 8 megabyte compact flash.
I didn't realize they had them this small.
8 megabyte. Wow.
Yeah, my smallest one's 16 megabyte.
Yeah, I think mine is too.
All right.
Yeah.
When I first heard about these,
your...
64 meg was the smallest I'd ever heard of.
Well, there's 1 terabyte SD cards now, right?
They're getting up there. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
What were you going to say, David?
So, like on your Tandy 1000 with the compact flash that you got with that.
Yeah.
One of the things that you could have done is used a compact flash to USB, and then you could have just imaged that compact flash right on your Windows machine, and then that way later, if you had to, you could just restore it.
Yeah, well, the compact flash was a replacement for the other one, so I didn't have anything for it before. But I do have, I do have a compact flash reader that will be delivered by Amazon today. So moving forward, my problem on how do I get things into my Tandy 1000 are solved, because now its hard drive, I can pull its hard drive out and stick it in a reader on my PC and just drop things right on it because it's fat, you know. So I can load up the hard drive of my Tandy 1000 now because it's a compact flash card. So I don't have to worry
What are you
about
doing, Michael?
doing floppies. What is that? Is that a CF reader?
That's it reads anything basically.
That's
CF,
that's a
SD.
CF. That's a toaster oven, right? So we can just. I like
hard drives as well.
Yeah, that'll do like the thick bagels too, right? Not just normal slices of toast, or.
Yeah.
So what I was talking
That's
about
pretty
was
much
the
anything to anything.
What I was talking about was the micro drive. It was actually a compact flash card with a hard drive built in.
Oh.
It was like 170 megs.
Well, what
With
were
all
the
140 megs.
what were the PC MCIA cards? Remember the early laptop things that you shoved in the side of the
Isn't that
early
what
laptops?
Mikey was just showing?
Is that what that is? Is that a PC MCIA, Mikey? It says something flash.
Yeah, here. Hold it up.
that was a notebook.
Yeah, the early notebook bus was the personal computer memory card industry
This one
association.
is-
Card bus. There was
card bus.
Yeah. And it's this one is 8 megabytes.
Yeah, I remember PC MCIA.
I got a network card like that, like a Wi-Fi card.
Yep, Wi-Fi cards and the network cards and even modems. I had a modem where the phone jack, you kind of popped out to the side and you popped the wire down into it and stuff. Yeah.
And then one of my laptops.
Funny is
McKay.
back
That
in
was
the
a
90s,
ridiculous thing.
when I was doing service work, the PCMCIA cards, a lot of people don't realize this, but the combines, they used those to keep track of where in the farm and how much grain they were collecting in different areas. So that way they knew where they needed extra fertilizer for their planters the next year. So that way they knew at what points they were getting yields. So that was the combine's data storage.
Well, we have plenty of fertilizer on this show.
Yeah, we need a spade for all the shite. So
Goes up a shovel.
Well, there was an agric, CoCo.
I had a laptop with a PCMCIA slot in it, and I had a Texas Instruments by-wire chip in it that I used for for multi-track audio recording that plugged into my Firewire mixing desk, and
Right.
it also used it for video editing too.
Oh yeah. What were you holding up there, Mark Bosley? Didn't get a chance to see you.
We were just talking about compact flash.
Yeah.
So this is an actual, if I get close enough here, the IDE interface. So it emulates a hard drive.
Yeah. I have another one of those too. Yeah. The one I bought for the Tandy 1000 was an all-in-one card, so it's the controller, the BIOS, and the compact flash holder. That one there is meant to plug into a normal PC where you plug the 40-pin IDE cable into that, right?
Right.
Yeah, I have one of those too that I'm going to be using for my Windows 98 box. But yeah, the one I got for my Tandy 1000 is like all-in-one, so the boot BIOS and everything's on it for an old 8-bit system. You know, they call it XT IDE is what the thing is called.
How much was that?
It's $40.
No, his.
Oh, yours. How big is your compact flash card there, Mark B?
4 gig.
4 gig.
How much was it?
I got one of those IDE adapters too for my Mac G4.
I don't know. I scavenged these out of. It was a. Started off as a PC, but it booted Linux, and it was used as a network in the box type device. So it was like a email server, router, all that stuff in one box.
What's Simon got there? I see a Molex connector. Show us your floppies. Show us your storage.
Okay.
3.5 inch.
It's a 1.44 that's modified to 720. But if you look at the edge connector, it's like a FM connector.
Yeah.
It's like the 5 1/4.
Yeah, it's got
The adapter kit.
Yep.
Yep, seen those.
The little bug.
It goes from pin to edge. Yeah.
Yep.
So that thing is wicked. That thing is wicked.
Yeah. Or you can get the cables that have like right next to each other. It's got one for pin and one for edge, so it'll each your A and B will accommodate either or. I bought a few cables like that too.
So, but it was a 1.44. It's a 1.44, and it's old, but March 2006.
Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I modified it by doing some doodads inside. Like it's a 144 drive, and I just modified it for 720.
Yeah. Ron's got a USB floppy drive there too.
Yep. That works well. That reads 720s or 144s. Works great.
I'm just realizing that I've often paid more for the interface cable in the past than I now pay for the entire device.
Yeah. It depends on how badly you need it.
Well, like the $40 hard drive thing, and I paid $40 for a MFM cable set years ago. But
no episode of Floppy Talk would be complete without a David Ladd special Grease Weasel.
Grease Weasel.
Hey, how many of you guys?
I have one of those adapters here too.
How many of you guys have a parallel cable?
Parallel cable, like the 25 pin to Centronics that goes in the old printers?
Yeah.
I haven't had one of those in years.
I had an old zip drive that used one.
Yeah.
Hold my beer.
Right. So that's the little mini floppy power connector there next to the edge connector, right there where you're.
Yeah, the I don't know where the cable went, but the power connector, for the 3.5.
That's the little mini floppy power.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, do they make adapters in that where you can maybe power that via USB? Do they make like a USB to mini floppy cable or something like that, or do you like? Or is this intended to go inside a computer that's already got the power supply with that power lead on it?
Are these what you were talking about, Ron?
For the Grease Weasel, you actually connect the USB connector to your computer.
Ah, okay.
And then so this is, as David puts it, is a cheap way to image floppy disks. To make an image on your computer of a disk that you have, or you can take an image and write it back to a floppy. So this doesn't really go inside the computer.
So the power situation, some 3.5 or 5 volt only, and some need 12 volts as well. So it just depends.
So
is the non-answer.
This drive out of here, I have a complete separate little 5 volt wall wart.
That's how you're powering it.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. and then I have the the cable here, etc. And I imaged a lot of discs with this. This one is the Alps, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so you're providing power to the floppy drive. The floppy drive cable connects to the grease weasel. The grease weasel then connects to your computer via USB.
Right.
And then you read the floppy from that physical floppy drive through the grease weasel into your computer, and you image it that way.
That's correct, yes.
So the grease weasel is the middleman between the physical floppy and your PC.
So the problem with the problem with like the drive that Ron had, that drive can only do 512 byte sectors, and CoCo disks are 256 byte sectors. So there's pretty much no way to, even if you had a 3.5 drive attached to your CoCo, you could not take that disk into the drive that Ron had. You can't read it there.
Jim Brain has just sent us a picture of something here. What is this a picture of, Jim Brain? This is huge. Is this an 8-inch floppy drive? That is huge.
Huge.
I don't know what that is that Jim just sent us, but it's huge.
How many of you people out there have a backpack?
A backpack?
I used to have one.
What is that?
Backpack, you mean the
5 1/4? It's a 5 1/4 floppy drive in a metal case.
Ah.
Backpack.
I remember those.
We're going to talk about parallel. Here we go. Blue Streak Ultima.
Oh,
Parallel.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so he says that was a Tandon TM848 8-inch floppy from a Tandy Model 16B. Bravo.
All right.
Wow.
You got to help.
Ron, you were talking about 25-pin centrifuges.
Yeah, parallel cables.
There they are.
Here we go.
Cool.
It's not a CoCo Man project, but it could be.
It's like a Lapwing cable.
I got these with a with one of my CoCos that I bought.
Well, if we're going to talk about unusual storage, here's IDE interface.
Yeah.
That's memory only.
Ah.
256 meg of really could be considered one of really early
solid state hard drive.
Yeah.
An IDE SSD.
Yep. See if I can get this in the frame here. So IDE interface.
Yeah.
And it's just got a memory chip on it.
That's cool. That'd be a great hard drive replacement.
So is it battery or is it just like a RAM disk?
RAM disk. It's flash. There's no battery on this guy.
So it's flash. It's a solid state hard drive basically.
Yeah. That's IDE interface.
That's neat.
I have something special to show. I can give one moment to get it ready, but this is not CoCo.
Welcome to Mikey Has Something Special to Show, everybody.
Welcome to Mikey.
You guys know what this
Prepared.
computer is?
Is it QL?
Sinclair QL.
Oh, wow.
And it has a very, very unique storage. These slots here are micro drives. And basically they're a little cartridge.
Aren't they tape?
It's basically a, let me get
worse.
Let me get one out here. Comes in a little folder, and it has these little cartridges in it.
Okay.
And basically, they have tape.
Holy crap! It's a tape cartridge.
Yeah, look. I mean, I'm gonna hold it up against my hand. And
Yeah.
you can see how small this
micro
thing is.
tape cartridge.
Micro tape cartridge.
And basically,
It's basically like a little bit larger than a normal SD card, but it's got tape inside
Right.
it. Yeah.
It's a single loop of tape. So, and it just goes in there. It presses against the head, and then
it's engaged.
Then it loop around. So
You want to talk about interleave problems. To cycle back around.
I think this loop of tape. So this tape holds something like 100 something kilobytes of data, and it takes like I think 8 to 10 seconds to go around the loop. So it's not really that bad.
Okay.
It was like an 8-track.
100 kilobytes.
Say that, like a mini 8-track, micro 8-track.
It's infinite storage. You can just keep writing to it forever and ever and ever.
Just like them cheap USB drives on the Amazon.
Yeah, somewhere here I have the original. I don't think it's.
That is wild.
This one. Just as an example, this is a soft piece of software that came with the QL. This is a drawing program, but this actually,
So they distributed software on those tape cartridges.
Right.
Oh, right. Wow.
Now, could they be write protected where you could not accidentally erase them?
I'm not sure actually. There might be some way to do it. I don't see any switch or anything. Maybe
that would be a concern. You bought this fancy piece of software, and then I just wrote over my damn drawing program cartridge. That was.
I remember they can. I don't remember how exactly, but
okay. Because that's the one benefit. What are you holding up there? Oh, is that a zip something? What is that, Brian? Brian Schubring, what were you holding up?
iOmega.
You're muted. You're muted.
Oh, zip drive.
You're muted.
Yeah.
You're still muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. There you go.
Yeah, okay, I'm back. This is a Ditto tape backup.
Can you say that again?
Right.
Yeah,
A
it's the Zip
Ditto
Ditto.
brand.
Can you say that? Can you say that one more time?
Ditto tape backup.
You see what I'm doing there?
Ditto.
Okay, there you go. All right, he caught on.
Oh,
All right,
I remember those.
Yeah.
That's before
It
zip
actually
drives.
goes into the cassette port.
Okay.
Or not, excuse me. The diskette cartridge port.
It took up a floppy bay, basically, a 5 1/4 inch bay.
No, it's just regular double floppy bay.
Yeah.
And it's acts like a floppy, but everything goes on tape.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about the zip.
Yeah. Zip drives.
You got let's see, who did this one? This was
iOmega.
That's 250 by iOmega.
Yeah. The original ones were 100
then-
megabytes.
120.
100.
Yeah. What is
The
that?
last 120, yes, Curtis.
What is that?
Yeah. This is a SideQuest 200 or 350 megabyte.
Oh, the replaceable like
250
hard drive cartridge things, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's actually for SCSI.
Okay.
But I think they also did it for other formats also. But it's tape backup or not? It's an actual disc that you can remove the disc itself.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah.
And those came out originally like 44 or 88 meg or something.
Yeah,
like that,
those were
some
like
odd
hard
size.
drive cartridges. So it was like a hot swappable hard drive thing where you can keep adding more storage to that one slot.
Yep.
Yeah, that was kind of neat.
Quite a few CoCo users used to use those. Both the.
Yeah, I had zip drives when you could buy the one that had the 25 pin connector. It would work off of parallel or SCSI. And when you compared the two, going from parallel interface to SCSI interface, I always jokingly say, well, they didn't call it zip because of its speed, right? It's trying to load that 100 meg floppy drive over that parallel port was just slower than trying to swim through molasses, as Simon said, right? So
that had a bad interleave.
Computers had a parallel port.
Yeah, there's a mode you can enable on the parallel port to make it faster.
Yeah, the ECP or whatever.
EPP,
right?
yeah.
And then there's the DMA mode version as well. But one of the things about those SideQuest drives that you talked about, Curtis, the 44 was very popular here because the 44s could actually be set in 256-byte sector mode. So therefore, all OS 9 boxes could actually use the data across them all because there was no what they call the deblocking to get the 512K set or the 512-byte sectors to work on the CoCo. Well, since the drive was native 256 bytes for what the CoCo saw, all the other machines could use it too. So the MM1, the what was that other 68K OS 9 box? I can't remember.
TC70, System 4.
Yeah, but they all could use it. With that was the fastest and easiest way to transfer large files between all of the machines.
Yeah, I remember Alan Huffman had a few of those too. And then I can see Rick's holding up, what is that, a 9-track?
This is a 9-track. You can't forget those. I have an Eclipse too, and it
1600
lives and
BPI
dies.
or which density?
Oh, geez, I don't even know anymore. But
Does anybody have any punch cards?
No punch cards. I don't have a reader, so there's no point in having cards. I do have a 9-track though, so I got
That's
this.
cool. Yeah, they're talking in the live chat. They're talking about jazz drives too. The jazz drives. Well, the thing about jazz drives is whenever you went to put them in or out of your computer, you had to do this with the jazz hands, right? Ooh, jazz drives. Ooh.
Asparagus.
I just put in my jazz drive. Ooh. I had a zip drive. A company I worked for, we were using zip drives to store. We were doing this virtual operator system. It ran on Windows NT, and so all the recordings of the different people's names, when you went to ask, dial by name, and it said the person's name and stuff, those were all stored on a zip drive. At that point in time, the zip drives had actually gone to IDE interface, where you could, even though it fit in the bay on your chassis like a 3.5-inch floppy would, you screwed it into like a floppy bay of your chassis. It was actually an IDE drive, the zip drive. So the performance on them were pretty decent. And ironically, for those of you aware of my whole tragedy of Cosmic Aliens and I lost my source code and stuff, I had my source code transferred all to zip drives, and I had possession of those zip drives as late as like 1999 or 2000. And sometime between putting stuff in a storage and moving, I lost those zip drives. But that's the last time I still had the source code to my Cosmic Aliens games for MS-DOS, but on zip drives that I freaking lost in a move. And before they were on zip drives, they were on something else, and I had consolidated all my stuff onto zip drives. Zip drives were pretty cool because they were basically the size of a floppy, but they held 100 megabytes, which was, almost 100 floppies of capacity. Brian Shoebrings, let me spotlight you, Brian, right? So zip drives were, basically floppies on steroids, right? PC 100, right? And that was the first version. Later on, there was like a Zip 250 or something like that, right? Or a Zip, maybe even a Zip 500.
Wasn't it?
There's a 750, I think.
Yeah.
The Jazz was 1 gig and 2 gig.
CDs came out and killed them.
Well, they were great right up in...
And they're rewritable. Yeah, it's about the size of a floppy, but it's holding like 90 times the capacity, so...
I was
going to say...
Didn't one of the ads for the zip drives have one zip drive with like a picture of 100 floppies?
A stack of floppies right next to it, right?
Yeah.
So...
Right. I remember they were great right up until the click of death.
The click of death. What was that?
That's right.
There were only so many spare sectors, and once you went past them, you were done.
Oh, yeah? I never...
That whole 100 megs was...
Hey, Salvador Garcia.
Like the drive would actually get damaged, right? Or it would damage the disc or something.
The disc was just gone.
Yeah.
And so you'd lost all your work.
Yeah, that hit us at work a few times in the pre-press department.
Steve Gibson found
that or something. The nice thing about the Zip 100s, the 250s, and the 750s is they were all based on floppy technology because they still had a Mylar floppy inside them. The Jazz went to a hard disk platter, just like the Cyquist, because iOmega was Cyquist's competitor for quite a long time. And then there was Orb. There's the Spark.
Spark I forgot about.
Spark was awful.
I don't remember Spark.
Which at the time for service, I actually had pretty much all those drives because I had to be able to read customers' cartridges. So I've got the Orb, the Spark, the 1 gig Jazz. So I've got a few of the drives. The nice thing, they're all scuzzy.
And the great thing,
there's also those old floppy ones like the LS120 that did 120 meg super floppies. Yeah. There was an earlier one that did 20 meg, but could also directly read 720 and 1.44.
The Floptical is what that one was called. Well, it's because there was actually an optical track embedded in the disc, which is how it had the finer tracking on that. That's why it was called the Floptical, because it was a combination of optical and magnetic.
The great thing about standards were there were so many of them. So.
Mini-discs use a combination of optical and magnetic.
I think the coolest thing that I ever had at one point in time, and I was really blown away about it, when they had the half height 5 1/4 inch floppies, there were people that made one of those that took up 1/2 height bay, but it had the 5 1/4 inch and the 3 1/2 inch that only took up one floppy bay. And it was just so cool that, oh man, this is so thin. We have so much storage stacked into this little space here. When we started going to like the mini AT cases for our custom PCs, you wanted to really minimize your bays and how much stuff you were using. That was the coolest thing. At one point in time in my life. Shows you how sad I am. So,
wasn't that the FD 503 computer system for the color computer that they were trying to come out with?
Oh, I don't know about that. This was back in days like Windows 9, Windows 3X for me. This was on a PC, but I just remember that double floppy thing.
I did get some 3rd height 5 1/4 from some Tandy product that I had stuck in a 502 case at one point, but I don't remember where. But yeah, cool. 3 drives and a 2-drive case.
Yeah. Right. It's a power PC right there. Wow. All right. Do we need to take a break from all this floppy talk? Do we need to breathe in? Yes. Breathe in for a second.
News.
We got news, yeah. We have news. We got GameON. We got show and tell. We got a lot more to do, but we're having fun talking about storage here, and I'm not falling asleep or wanting to rage quit, so that's a good thing. So why don't we take a commercial break? We'll come back. Is there more storage conversations that need to take place, or you think we talked enough storage
for now?
Are we good on storage for now?
Well, we could talk about storage totes.
Storage totes. We could do that. All right. So let me ask you this now: when we come back from the break, what would you guys like to do first? Would you like to do news or GameON?
Or GameON.
GameON. Curtis, how much news do we have today, Curtis? Do we have a lot of news, or
how much news?
There's 11 regular news, and there's I think 6 on the GameON news.
All right. So we'll do GameON. Yeah. Yes.
And then we'll do GameON news after that, because then I can do the cross plug for the Children's Hospital thing for the Migos.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to take a commercial break, boys and girls. Let's see here. What do we want here? We want. It's been a while since. What do we want here? Commercials. We already did Floppy Life. How about a little bit of ease of use? How about that? A little bit of ease of use, and we'll be back with GameON after these words.
And now, this message.
Hi, it's Curtis Boyle, part of the CoCoTALK crew of people.
Hey everybody, this is Bill Noble, co-author of Nitrous 9. You are listening to CoCoTALK Live, the leading live CoCo Talk show.
Good day, mates. This is Nick Marionettes, author of such color computer titles as Donut Disaster, Rupert Rhymes, and Rockstar Pilot. And I am here today to tell you about the world's most fabulous operating system, OS 9. OS 9 and its current incarnation, Nitrous 9, is the most advanced operating system ever created. And what makes it so good? Ease of use. I find OS 9 so incredibly intuitive that I haven't once cracked open the user manual, and yet I've been able to create such incredible games faster than the time it takes to sing Waltzing Matilda. Using OS 9, I expect my next game, Funstar, will be done this weekend and distributed exclusively on ROM cartridge. OS 9 forever.
Any resemblance to actual events to persons living or dead is purely coincidental.
Hi, this is Max Jackson live from CoCo Fest. And you listen to The Real Gamer, Steve Schroe.
We're traveling through a dimension both of sound and ideas. We're at a place where the mind can comprehend and devise a solar radio, a wireless transmitter, measure time and light. 65 electronic projects brought to reality with this science fair kit. Astonishing? Perhaps. But you can find it for Christmas for $17.95 in a place that's known as Radio Shack.
Radios, stereos, recorders, everything in sound.
A whole new approach. A window to a world of possibilities. Clear your expectations. Clear your hesitation. Just hit clear.
Download EOU today at lcurtisboyle.com.
Hi, this is Sean Wheatley, and you're listening to CoCo Talk with the original gamer, Stevie Stroke.
And now, CoCo Thoughts by Samuel Gimes.
When I go so fast, I go and crash into the mountainside. Then I start again on this wild and crazy ride. Then I dodge the copter and hit the mountain again. No, no, no. Jeremy, what did you go do? It's scrolling so fast into the enemies I flew. Too fast, too fast, too fast, too fast, there's no answer. At least I know that Buzzard Bait is better than Lancer. Crystal City, Crystal City, Crystal City, yeah.
Feels like the Doors concert.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Jeremy made this wicked brew. I'm failing really fast like the rest of the crew. What is the chancer? At least in Rumble 3D you get to drive a Panzer. Crystal City, Crystal City, Crystal City. Look out! Here they come! When I go so fast, I go and crash into the mountainside. Then I start again on this wild and crazy ride. Then I dodge the copter and hit the mountain again. No, no, no. Well, Jeremy, the joystick got through. It shattered up fast, the pieces they did strew. It was a big blur. I'm gonna drown my sorrows with Brewmaster. Crystal City, Crystal City, Crystal City. I got blisters on my fingers.
Wow.
I like Frodo's comment in the chat. He says it's still scrolling slower than the actual game does.
Oh my God. I am dizzy with, oh my God, Samuel Gimes. Samuel Gimes. This one you think Samuel can't outdo Samuel. Samuel.
I was blown away by that. I didn't know what he was going to do, if anything, with this game, and that was brilliant.
Oh my God.
Oh.
That was dizzying. Woo! All right.
So yes, it was a fast game. I think that's the point that Samuel was making. It was definitely a very, very fast game.
All right. Well, are you ready for the results, Nick Marotta?
I am.
Okay, here we go.
High Score Challenge with Nick Marotta.
All right, and welcome to the GameON results. We had a fantastic week with 22 score submissions. We had Mikey at 29, Michael Klein at 352, Tim Holleran at 357, R. Alan Murphy at 437, Mark Bosley at 556, Adam at 895, Alpin Grice 1212, Rogelio 1257, Joshua 1304, Canadian Retro Things 1372, Cat Lord at 1377, Mr. Dave 1590, Frodo 1991, Tom C at 2353, Buck Owens 2627, Jim Rye at 2815, Devil Bunny at 2881, David Croker at 2934, Boat of Car at 3029, Tasman 4012, me at 5705, and the number one score, some douche named L. Curtis Boyle at 8327. Congratulations, Curtis. And thank you for the participation.
I have to mention, Paul Thayer played several live streams and he got pretty high scores too, but for some reason he didn't actually submit a screenshot because
I don't know why.
Well, why can't you just look at his damn video and see it? Yeah, but it would have been easier if he screenshotted it instead of making you have to go look for it, right? But
screenshotted.
He screenshotted it, yes.
Yeah,
or would that be screenshot?
Yeah, screenshots fired.
Screenshots
fired.
Keeping in with the shovel theme.
There's his screenshot right there. So
there's his playthrough. Yes, I know he wanted to beat the game, and I haven't heard that he actually did. So
he's done it in the past. He didn't do it this round. I've actually never have beaten the game. I've gotten to level 6 a few times, but
how many levels are there?
6.
6, yeah.
Crystal City, Crystal
so I dare
City.
say this has become one of my favorite CoCo 3 games. It's really great. I only made it to level 2, so I don't have a whole lot of advice except I found that just getting the parachutes gave you enough shield that you could not worry about too much about hitting other things, at least in level 1, because you can build up your shield with the parachutes pretty well. So.
Yeah, I would expand on that. Basically, getting the parachutes is a critical part of this game. Don't even worry about shooting everything. On later levels, when you have less parachutes, and I should mention the parachutes always come out the exact same spot on every level every time you play it. So if you memorize where they're coming out, they're coming out, you can quit shooting and then just gather parachutes. But basically, your best strategy is not to shoot everything, but to gather the parachutes and just dodge things. And then on certain levels where you get less and less parachutes, then you can start shooting things so you don't accidentally hit them. And of course, don't hit the ground.
He has a couple nice areas where a lot of things are lined up vertically, and you can just shoot them one after the other. Those are satisfying.
They have one exception, of course, is the boss. When you get there's no parachutes, and that you have to button mash like crazy. Now, I did notice one thing that he does that I tend to do sometimes too, if I don't think about it, is on the boss level, most people just stay on the left side. You don't have to. You can actually fly all the way to the right side of the screen. So if the guy's being a dick and just bouncing back and forth on the left side, and he's probably going to hit you, then you can actually just fly past him onto the right-hand side, let him do his little maneuvers, and then when he starts coming back, then you fly back to left and start shooting him again.
The one thing I found a little annoying about the boss level is I wasn't sure I was actually doing anything at first because there was no real indication that you were causing me damage.
The sound is the indication. The sound, it goes at woo, woo, and it gets faster and faster the more damage he gets.
Right.
So the closer to implosion, the faster he's pulsating, huh?
But I mean, I kind of thought the back end was the weak spot because it was the one it was flashing, and usually on bosses there'll be some sort of visual cue as to where the weak spot is. But of course, that wasn't the case with this one. You said,
could I just interject my massive experience in gaming?
Sure.
Watch CoCo Talk, and then you can see just how bad these games are to play, and you'll just enjoy everybody being much better than you'll ever be.
No, this game is actually really fun.
It's a really neat experience watching.
And I mean, he squeezed a lot of speed out of the CoCo 3. Is, 60 frames a second, I believe it's running at from.
Oh, really?
Hardware horizontal scrolling, and you got that little glitch on the bottom there because he didn't actually. I don't think he used the FRQ timer quite to do it.
So was that an 86 versus 87 gimme thing, or was
no? It actually does that on both, though it's a little bit different because the timing is a little bit different. And there's an adjustment you can do if you're on the high score screen. Hit the F key for fine tune. You can punch in a number from 0 to 7. It defaults to I think 4, 3, or something like that, and you can tweak it. Because each CoCo, it was dependent on the version of the gimme, the speed of the RAM you have in your CoCo. Do you have 150 nanosecond, 120 nanosecond? That made a slight difference in it, so it's pretty quirky. I think we've since discovered how to smooth that out This Popstar doesn't have that problem. Digger 3 doesn't have that problem.
Right.
Backviewed Monster Maze doesn't have that problem. But also, Jeremy's pushing it a lot faster, I think, than most of the other programs are too. So,
do you know all those explosions that goes on and everything? You know,
they're neat.
Paul Thayer had it on there for maybe, I don't know, a minute and a half, and I noticed myself getting like entranced and wanting to get a checkbook and write out a check.
It's the same explosions, I believe, that are in Xenix, right?
yeah,
Very
pretty much.
similar.
They're palette shifting with a gradual expanding doohickey.
Yeah, they look neat though.
The palette shifting is new, right? To Crystal City.
No, that was in Xenix as
Oh,
well.
was it? Okay. Anyway, it's really cool.
Because the
palette
flames
shifting
of
is awesome.
your rocket flames on your ship, the flames on some of the other enemy ships on later levels, and the explosions are all sharing the same palettes, shifting the same colors.
So that palette shift's happening all the time.
Yeah, pretty much.
So how did he get this crazy speed? Is what I guess.
Self-modifying code. He uses the 256-byte wide mode too, so that he can actually, when you're building your shield past the end of the screen, it actually is literally drawing it past the screen because he's using a window into the screen basically to do that. He's got a 256-byte wide screen. The screen only displays 160 bytes, so he actually has some extra. So he doesn't have to do extra calculations, so he can just keep drawing it up until the maximum. There's a lot of little tricks he did in there. He's actually got the source code available for this too, if you guys want to look at it, for both Xenix and Crystal City up on his site.
Yeah, if you go to his site, that's right.
And there's a blog post there about some of the original notes that he was making, trying to get 60 frames or bust. So you can see the actual thinking out loud, as it were.
It's GoSub Software is his website.
One other cool thing about it too is...
Oh, good. We reached out to him, but he didn't get back to us, unfortunately. It would have been nice to talk to him.
Yeah, he's occasionally in the CoCo community, so we'll still have to see if we can get him on for an interview or something, because he occasionally pops up in the CoCo Facebook group. One nice thing I liked about, though, is the variety of the trains and stuff he has, as each level is like literally almost a different planet or a different continent or something like that. You have ice planet, and you have like desert, and you have city stuff, and you have stuff out in the country with like little smokestack houses and stuff like that too, and people on the ground occasionally. There's a lot of variety in the game, and it fit within 2 discs. And it actually, I think it does run on 128K if I remember correctly too. I originally had it at 512, but I think I actually got told by Jeremy that's wrong, and then I tried it, and sure enough, I think it does work on 128.
I think 3 lives would have been nice, but
I don't think you would have lasted 15 seconds if you had 3 lives.
No. Well, 1 life is when you die. Well, I guess I consider this 1 life.
Okay.
Just,
the shield to me kind of changes that a bit, so it's not really a life; it's more of a life bar.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
now,
pretty
one thing he
mesmerizing.
did change, for those of you that downloaded the version he's got on his website now, he's tweaked the code a little bit, because the original commercial version, which I also have, you could hit keys 1 to 6 and actually start at any of the 6 levels.
Yeah,
and
can you
now
not
he's
do that?
reduced that. No, on the new one, you can only do, I think, the first 3 is all he lets you go, and the rest you have to earn.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never made it to the second boss, so.
Neat.
So yeah, well, little PG.
So some of his scores there, yeah, right. So.
Yeah. I had a few of those in mind too, which is why I took pictures of the actual score entry screen and not the main. Because I did the same thing.
How do you really feel about this game?
He meant ducking, and autocorrect messed it up.
Yes.
So, any other impressions of the game? Or,
it's wicked fast. I played it before.
Yeah.
I didn't have a chance to play it this week, but
no, I know
played
you
it
did.
before.
I think I saw you when you had a video up on it as well.
Yeah, I enjoyed this game.
This is probably one of the top 5 most impressive CoCo 3 games. Period.
Oh yeah.
I would wager to say that Nutroid would be in the top 2 for those of you who played Nutroid for the CoCo 3.
I thought Nightmare Highway would have been ranked higher than that.
Nutroid. See, Nutroid actually takes advantage of CoCo 3 palettes, so that's what ranks it higher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nothing can beat Nightmare Highway.
We've tried. We tried beating it with a stick, and it won't go.
There's a whole song about how nothing beats Nightmare Highway. So.
Yeah. Nightmare Highway. Neat. Yeah, Polly was a busy little CoCo game streamer this week, huh?
So sorry we didn't get a scoring for you, Paulie. I guess I could have tried to grab it from here, but I figured if you would submit one. But anyway, thank you for the video, though, Paulie. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I like to
Yeah,
have a
because
video
he
playing.
did a couple of videos and he got up to level 4 or maybe even 5, I think, during some of his gameplay. So some of you who haven't seen those higher levels, you can actually see the entire thing go by. But the variety of terrain is just awesome in this game.
So this video is linked on the Facebook page for TR City Color Computer. He's got an entry for the.
Yeah, and Chet Simpson was doing a live stream this week too with Digger.
Several.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
It's in the GameON news. Trust me.
Okay.
He did.
It's really good having the discussions going with the gameplay in the background at the same time. Really gives it another dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I appreciate when people send in video, send in gameplay. I'll choose one or two to show while we're talking about it. So keep them coming.
Crystal City, Crystal City.
See, all I could think of was "Take Me Down to Crystal City," which
Take
would
me
have
down
been,
to the Crystal
which would have
City.
been a copyright nightmare.
Crystal City.
Well, actually, both the Beatles and Gina are notoriously bad for pull down, so we'll see how this goes.
Crystal City.
I really like the boss battle. I love just laying into them and just
Yeah, they're pretty unpredictable in their movements, and then they do that flip rotation where you can't shoot them because they're too small of a target to hit. Which makes it...
yeah.
As long as you're patient, at least the first one wasn't bad.
It's got kind of a papercraft thing going on there when it flips like
he
that.
killed him fast. He killed him a lot faster than I did.
Crystal
And the fireworks
City.
display, that was cool too.
Yeah, that is cool.
That was one I was referencing when we did the July 4th firework program.
Yeah.
Got to the magazine.
I wonder if the closer to the middle you hit him, the more damage you do, because he killed him really fast compared to what I was able to.
Well, he was motoring. If you watch that video and you'll fully, he's motoring on that fire button.
Yeah.
Joystick killer.
That's wicked. Wicked awesome.
There's the ice planet.
The rapid fire joysticks work really fast on this game.
Except you don't want to kill the parachutes.
Except you only want to do that on the boss. If you do it on the regular level, you'll never get fuel and you'll die quick.
Yeah, shoot all your parachutes.
But I love the palette change.
Yeah, the palette changes really makes the transition to another
And
world.
it changes the palettes of the terrain as you're playing the level. So it goes through really. I think he labeled the docks as like a really fast, crazy rotation planet that changes from day to night every 5 minutes or something like that. So it goes through the different levels of brightness for the sky and stuff.
Mesmerizing.
So are we?
Absolutely.
Are we ready to
What I
move
would
on?
really like to see, if we can get
Okay.
Jeremy on, if we can convince him to write one more CoCo game, I'd love to see what he could do with the 609.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine.
Which one did he rewrite for the PC? Was it Xenix?
Xenix.
Xenix that he rewrote for the PC?
Yeah, he
Which
made
is really
Xenix 3D.
Hmm.
Yeah. Actually, we should spotlight that sometime. It's not technically a CoCo, but it's a descendant of a CoCo game, so it'd be kind of cool to show that off.
Yeah.
So, Curtis, was this like a 5-minute before supper type thing when you got the high score?
That wasn't my first game, no. I think I played that probably about 3 hours straight before I got that good game. Because I hadn't played it in a while, so I'd kind of forgotten some of the tricks and forgot where the parachutes are, so I kept shooting them.
So are all the enemies in predetermined places? He said the parachutes were.
The stationary ones, like the things that shoot bombs at you from the ground and things like that, are those stationary objects, like those floating alien thingies there, those are all static and stay the same, but the launching of helicopters and those other aliens coming at you dynamically is not. Those are a bit randomized. I think they still come out in chunks around the same, but you don't always get the same patterns, at least from what I remember.
So now we just need Samuel Gimes' music playing in the background, and we got to.
Well, I got my acoustic. I can play the Beatles if you want.
I'm thinking what this game really needs is ukulele.
Oh, of course. Everything needs that. Who's practicing their scales?
That's Neo. That was Neo playing the piano.
That sounds like a Yamaha piano to me. Yamaha SY77 piano sounds exactly like that.
Crystal City.
I can't do the band on my acoustic for the.
Yeah, we need Samuel Gimes. By the time we have a CoCo Fest, Samuel Gimes will have enough songs he could do a concert.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And he'd be sued for $5 billion.
Yeah.
Come on, parody's protected.
Yeah, it is too. It actually is.
Well,
theoretically it is, but I think they're clamping down on it anyway. I think they're still.
Boom!
I think
Blew
you
it
still
up.
have to pay for the music. It's weird.
Crystal City.
Oh, we can see what level 3 looks like. I never saw it. But then we'll move on.
Crystal City. All right, does anybody have any tips and tricks? Get the parachutes.
Don't die.
Don't rapid fire on the main levels.
Yeah.
Like the main flying over the planet part. Pick out your parachutes. Try to dodge more than shoot things.
Don't hit
unless you get unless you do get to memorize where everything comes out. Collect parachutes like mad, and then button mash the hell out of it on the boss screens. And remember, you can fly to the right on the boss screen if he's peppering you on the left and bouncing back and forth, not giving you time to get in there to shoot. Just avoid him. Go off to the right, lead him out over there, then go back and kill him.
So if you haven't played this game for the challenge, I really suggest going and looking at it, because it seriously is one of the most impressive CoCo 3 games.
Absolutely.
No, I feel another song parody. He did the mash.
He did the mash, the button mash.
That'd be good.
But when we're talking about, top list of CoCo 3 games, we must always remember Netroid.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the good thing about Jeremy is that he did 2 games for the CoCo, and both of them I would put in the top 5 ever.
Yeah.
Xenix and
so these were for sale at one point then?
Oh yeah, I bought the originals. Actually, they were sale by
Okay.
2 different companies. They were originally through GoSub Software itself, which then I think was sold through Eversoft or something. And then later on, Jim Davis took it over, and that's when they sold it uncopy protected, which is when the CoCo market started to die down, because he picked up like Sundog and GoSub and a bunch of others, and he was selling all that stuff.
See, I didn't think to look into Rainbow magazines to see if there's a review on it, because I kind of figured it was after the life of the rape.
No, it was reviewed in Rainbow. It was advertised on Sundog on their full page ads too.
Darn, I should have gone and looked. Oh, well, I'm sure it got stellar reviews.
Sundog's ended up selling it. He sold it on his own first through GoSub and barely had any sales. And then Eversoft, which is a smaller game company, sold it for a little bit, and then he got it through Sundog, and I think that's when sales finally took off somewhat. But by that time, it was late in Sundog's life.
Yeah, this was after I'd.
Oh man, just flew through a mountain. and I hit
Well, that's
the
the nice
mountain
thing about this game too.
again.
It has destructible terrain, and on
yeah.
later levels, you have to shoot through the terrain in order to get through it. Otherwise, you will die. Like they'll have a structure in front of you, and you have to shoot through it to even get past it. Which is a bit unique for 1991, to have a destructible terrain game where it would actually mattered.
Yeah, this is really impressive.
Fantastic, fantastic. Are we ready to reveal what next game of the week is, Nick Marotta, or was this too soon? Is it too soon?
Oh, I don't know. Let me recover a bit. Hold on, let me catch my breath.
I've got blisters on my fingers.
So I thought next week we'd return to an old school arcade port, and I chose what I believe is one of the best, most faithful ports anyway for a game on the CoCo.
Color script set.
You may disagree, but this is gonna be really tough, guys. Tell me if you can identify this game.
Ooh, this is COLORPEDE by Intracolor.
Yeah, and like I said, I could be. I mean, there are a lot of good conversions, but I believe this is one of the more faithful.
I think this is the best one. I'd have to agree.
Done for the CoCo.
I think the only thing that didn't attempt to do was, alter the colors at all when you switch
Well,
around.
it did alter them as much as it could. It went.
Yeah,
it
they go
switched
between red and blue.
Oh, they
Yeah.
do? Okay, I didn't remember that.
So there's
The only one I'd rank up even close to this would be what is it, the Megapede clone or Kingpede? I think it was called.
Kingpede. Okay.
That's the only one that I think it had some of the other elements that the sequel to Centipede in the arcade had that were not on this one, but the gameplay isn't quite as smooth. So it's
okay.
This is the most faithful. I have to agree.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's called CPED on the
CPED.
CPEDE.
And we have legal permission from the original author for this one as well.
Legal permission. We run it through legal. The law firm of W. David Ladd Esquire has.
Unlike our parody songs, these are approved.
The law firm of WD-40.
So have fun with this game, guys, and I'm looking forward. Hopefully, you get nice participation.
Yes.
And I just want to remind too, in 2 weeks' time, we will be doing Bomb Threat. So there's probably still time. I might be cutting it close, but there's probably still time to get the cartridge from.
Yeah, I got mine from Neil within about a week's time. So
Neil, Neil at CoCoCrew.org, or the disc version from rickadams.org/bomb threat.
Is there any difference in the program, or just
No.
on the cartridge?
Just the medium.
Cartridge versus digital.
So if you want a nice, cool looking yellow cart, then you get it from Neil.
And it looks cool. I have one.
That would have looked very nice in my collection.
Yes.
And then if you just want the traditional disc DSK, then you get it from.
It would look very nice in my collection, even though I already have the CD.
Yes.
Yep. And I already have the original cartridge.
I have the original cartridge. I have the new cartridge.
So that'll be 2 weeks time.
Oh my!
So thank you guys for another great week of gaming.
Oh my! Oh my! Oh my! Okay, thank you, Nick Marotta, as always, for a great segment.
We should mention ColorPede's a CoCo 1 and 2 game.
CoCo 1 and 2.
Yes.
Right.
And it'll run in, well, the tape version ran 16K. I don't know if the disc version does. You'll need at least 32K, I think. But you don't need a full 64K. And if you have cassette, you can actually run it at 16K.
Does it run on CoCo 3 as well? Or?
Yes.
Yep, got it running right behind me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Artifact Colors.
So do you want to go ahead and
patch version?
Is there an RGB patch? Good question.
I'll find out.
Never looked.
Do you want to go ahead and do the gaming news, Al Curtis Boyle, to tail end the GameON segment?
Yep. And then you want to take a commercial break before we hit the
real
news?
Yeah, we'll take a commercial break before we hit the real news. Absolutely.
Okay. Nick, were you looking something up first, or?
No, go ahead.
Okay. All right, to make sure I get the right one here. Is this the game? Yeah, that's the game one. Okay. And share screen.
And I gotta take off too, guys.
Hi, David. Thanks for being here.
Easy.
Make sure.
Yeah, thanks for floppy talking with us.
Yes.
Take care, David.
Keeping us legal and keeping us on the straight path.
Bye, guys.
Really?
See you later.
Really?
Take care, Dave. See you, mate.
He really likes breaking things.
It does look like there's an RGB patch for ColorPede.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, good.
Yep.
So that would not be on the
Intercolor
standard
RGB patch.
SPC. Yeah, you'll have to look for that in the usual place.
Oh, this is Tempass. I like Tempass. One of my favorite games in the arcade. Tempass.
Is that like when you're waiting for your other one to come back out of the shop?
As opposed to the permanent one.
Yeah.
Anyway, the author of this one here is actually in the chat, so you guys have any questions for him, that's Erico. So he's been working on that color fight game, which we've all been ogling over. It's a semi-graphics 4, so the absolute low res, but it's got really cool animations for that resolution. So this one here is he's got it a bit more advanced, and it actually has 2 AIs playing against each other.
Oh, wow. Boom, 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 boom. Pow, pow.
He's actually got life bars now on the bottom that work.
Oh, yeah. Sound effects.
Needs to have a doll every time he messes up. The Homer Simpson thing.
Now this one here, he's got the block, he's got the walking forward and backwards, he's got the punch. I don't know if this version here has the kicking and stuff, because he's kind of made
one
demos
that
of
was
those
doing.
before.
Yeah, I remember seeing the kind of the flying drop kick.
And of course the cityscape in the background. But I'll let it play until one of the guys falls down. He's actually got 3 fights against him just to kind of show
Boom.
each.
Yeah, and just drops to the ground on his side there. Boom.
Yeah.
Really, really well done animations.
Yeah,
for this kind
absolutely.
Of
Yeah, for this mode, I don't think we ever had games with this good of animation I've seen before. In the entire 40-year history of the CoCo, I don't think I've seen somebody push semi-graphics for this far.
I don't even think high-res games had this good of an animation, honestly. So any resolution. Boom.
Yeah, that was one thing. Like I noticed some of the other platforms used to do they do 8 frames of an animation or something like that. Kind of, I think, based on the Apple II game Prince of Persia, which kind of first did the really good animation.
Yeah.
On the CoCo ones, we usually had maybe 2, 3, 4 frames for a movement, and that was it. I don't know if it was just memory restrictions or laziness. Or
yeah, well, Digger 3's got some pretty good animation in it.
Yeah, no, I mean modern we do now a bit
Yeah.
more, but I mean back in the day, I think rushing trying to get the game out,
Yeah.
we didn't have that many.
Well, yeah, everyone wanted to program sprites, and we didn't have them. So, what can you do easy?
I don't think a lot of people knew how to do the background work to get the good animation frames. I mean, that's what Jordan Mechner did with Prince of Persia, and there's one before that, Karateka. Is he basically filmed his brother doing the motions and then basically rotoscoped him. And movie technique that a lot of people didn't realize. That's how you got individual
Which is
frames.
pretty
that
innovative
looked
for a
good.
teenager in high school at the time.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and I think Nick Marentes had showed us something he was working on too, where he had some basically digitized scan stuff of fighting people, almost kind of like Mortal Kombat looking stuff.
Yeah,
or
he
the
was working
CoCo
on a
3.
CoCo 3 one actually.
Yeah.
But here you sort of have double the work because you have to replace your background as you draw your foreground. And so you can't do as much as maybe you might otherwise.
Yeah, if you had a plain single color background that you could just keep consistent, then you can actually animate a bit faster, obviously. I'm just taking a look here. Erico mentioned here I was going for, how did you say that?
Karateka.
Karateka. And more frames, but as speed seems fast, I'm switching for your Kung Fu style, less animation, more content.
Okay.
So I'm assuming he's talking about he's not putting all the kick moves and stuff in there. And he says, still there won't be single frame action moves. The fastest will have 2 frames. So I guess he's to keep the speed up. He's not doing quite as many frames. But it still looks really good.
It does. Absolutely. Great job, Erica.
Yep. Hey, next up, Paul Shoemaker. He's been working on this card thing, and he's actually put a couple videos up, so I'm just going to show the latest one. But he's actually got it interfacing with BASIC and then also using MMU stuff. So he's got, I think he ends up explaining there's the 3 face cards, the Jack, Queen, and King, and then the card backs, and then a solid card front. And then the rest of it's drawn on with a separate routine, so it doesn't take too much memory. But he's actually got it running pretty quick here for animation here. Is that coming through okay, or is it pausing again?
No, we got it.
Facebook's so unpredictable in that I just never know.
That's pretty quick. Yeah, they're loading up pretty quick.
Yeah. What I really like here is this is the 320 by 225, I think, 16 color mode. But he's done the face cards, probably the best I've ever seen in that mode. I've seen a few with much bigger cards that, like Paul Thayer, actually. Him and his brother made quite a few card games for the CoCo 3 back in the late 2000s.
Yeah, this looks really good. You can tell what these cards are. There's no mistaking.
Yeah. But they did the giant ones because they were doing like Vegas poker, which is 5 cards across.
Yeah.
And these are small, so you can actually, make a lot.
Yeah, you could do like a solitaire game here, a free cell, or memory game, or anything. You get that much real estate.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that. In fact, I've asked him if I can get those cards because I was trying to do a card game like decades back in OS9 because you can use get put buffers to do that kind of stuff here, and I just suck at drawing things, so I was trying to draw cards and I just gave up. But,
is this Henry Reitfeld's? Put it in his Rampage cabinet, huh?
Yeah, I was hoping Nick would still be on here. I think he had to leave though. But this is actually Rally SG that Henry just bought and installed on his cabinet. So he's actually using real arcade controls here to play Rally SG, which is pretty cool.
That's Adam Tandy Guy for those of you on Discord.
Yep.
Or sent from my phone for the folks on the mailing list.
And ironically here, like we've tried displaying the flickering between the 2 colors to get the map and stuff, and it actually shows up a little bit better on this video here than I think in the ones we've tried, where actually the tires are staying fairly constant. The map is actually showing the half color of where the cars are, the gold bars and stuff are, so it actually seemed to capture better too. I'm not sure why, but it gives you a bit of a better idea what it really looks like when you're really playing it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's neat.
This is a great game.
Yeah.
Good job, Henry. Chet Simpson.
And this one here, Chet did 2 demos of Digger 3, one on Thursday, one on Friday. And I'm not going to turn the audio on because Chet's got rather colorful language, as we all know, and there's a lot of it.
All those colorful metaphors.
Now, mind you, we've had a few colorful metaphors on here too this episode, so maybe I should just let it go. I don't know. But basically, he mentions in the videos that the final version is going to have 36 levels. He's still tweaking some of the levels. There's 1 or 2 levels he wants to get rid of and replace with something else, but he's planning on 36. And there's going to be an easy mode and a hard mode. So his first video he did on Thursday is the easy mode, and the video he did yesterday is actually the hard mode. So I'll play a little bit of it here. And actually, hopefully, we can have Chet on when he's pretty well ready to release it to kind of go through some of the design goals and stuff he did there. Now, I noticed he's been on Discord chat lately. I haven't had a chance to participate, though. Has he mentioned much about this? Or
pretty much the things you've been talking about.
About?
Does he have a release date kind of in mind yet? Or
no.
What the heck happened there?
He was saying soon, though. He's like, I guess he's got some time, so he's doing a push to get it done sooner than later.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But he didn't nothing specific, but it's like it's in the final. Like he was working on an issue and that's been fixed. And now
What would you say, 2020-ish?
Now it's just the levels.
Sometime between now and the cure for COVID is when it'll be released.
Oh, this keeps stopping the.
It's a test pattern.
Facebook weirdness.
Yeah, Facebook sucks. Okay, how about playing you, Steve?
Tom C wants to know what he missed. Floppy talk. Okay, I hear the music.
I better mute that because
sounds like nice.
colorful language will start soon.
Okay, here we go. Here's the video.
And he did different levels on the 2 too, so he's showing you more than just 10 levels.
Hard mode.
Anyway, the hard mode is hard. It looks like an exercise in frustration. It was frustrating him at times, and he designed the darn thing.
Wow, look at all those gold bars, huh? And you're stuck. Yeah, and you're stuck because there's a wall right there. Haha, you died.
Anyway, if you don't mind added language, his commentary is hilarious in spots. So
He's passionate.
yeah, that's the right word, passionate. But it looks like an awesome game. I mean, the levels, he's got some of the levels we've seen before already tweaked somewhat, and he's got some brand new ones we've never seen before. And he hasn't even shown half of them yet.
What is he doing with Homer there?
I think he's leading him. You can kind of lead him around.
Okay.
I'll just fast forward a bit here to maybe some other parts of the different levels here. And the parallax scrolling he's got in the background. He's got some new backgrounds for that too. He's got some gray rock in the second level behind on some of the later levels.
Also, you'll notice he was experimenting with parallax scrolling. There's actually 3 different speeds.
Yeah, and vertical now too, because the original only did horizontal. Now he's got vertical parallax as well. On that, you can see on the red background there.
Ouch! You just got hit by the spikes. Yeah.
So that was like level 12.
Speaking of colorful language, it's GameON inspire a lot of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good game. We'll have you dropping bombs. F-bombs, S-bombs, all kinds of bombs. Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to this one for sure.
That's what I was hoping. I mean, maybe he'd mention in Discord if he's got a release date kind of getting close, or if he's still a little ways
Oh,
off.
it sounds like it's close. I just don't want to speak for him, but it sounds pretty close.
Did you want us to give our impression of what we thought without putting words in his mouth?
Actually, if you guys want to just overtalk and mime his speech there, you can make up your own speech here for us.
F this, F that.
What, the asparagus?
Oh, you've heard it before, have you?
CS.
What is the CS is color scripts it, right?
Right.
Okay.
There's one level he added that actually looked really interesting. I'm just going to see if I can find it here.
Figure 3 is impressive. I mean, the speed and the motion and all that. It's like,
yeah, this.
Oh, wow, look at this. It's nothing but ladders. Holy crap.
Whoa.
Now, he said one design change he has to do is the Gomers, as he calls them. Like he's got, I think, 9 on this level, like chase you, but because of the ladders and the way they crawl around and follow you, they actually end up overlapping each other. And he said that's not fair because you can look like you've only got 2 or 3 after you, and then you drop a couple of holes, and all of a sudden they split out because they were all over top of each other.
Right.
So he's going to fix it so that they can't overlap.
Okay.
But
Holy
this definitely
crap.
looks like an interesting level.
And it's like right on your ass, too. So, yeah.
He also mentioned, he said the 36th level is a real bear's ass. It's insanely difficult, he said, so I can't even imagine.
Coming from
Seeing
him,
some of
yeah.
the supposedly easier ones.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting hail here. That's interesting. I don't know if you guys can hear that over the mic, but
No, that looks really neat.
yeah, really looking forward to this one.
We are definitely. We will watch this with great interest. All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Chet.
Next up, Canadian Retro Things, who I was in the chat. I don't know if he still is or not. We're going to try to get him on the show at some point.
Yeah, you should come on.
He actually does a an unboxing of Bomb Threat, the new cartridge, and he goes through an explanation at the beginning, which I won't play here. Watch the video to get the full details, but kind of explaining how buying a new game has changed over the years. Because back then you had the, waiting for it in the mail and then unboxing it and then, immediately plugging in the game or loading the disc to play right then and there. And nowadays it's all electronic. You download something. Once you get the initial game, you have to download 40 gigabytes of patches to it to get it to run. And how the whole experience has completely changed from what it used to be in the old days.
He's in the chat still.
And here, just to drive you nuts, he actually does the opening of the box in slow motion. I'll skip ahead.
I like that music. That's so good. This music if we have slow motion video of Nick Marotta just shaking out his hair with this music here.
Yeah. with that water spray coming off like they used to do in the 80s videos.
What hair? No, I don't need you guys falling for me. I don't want to be.
Look at that pristine box.
Look at that.
And I think Canadian Retro Things in the chat there, if you want to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're planning on doing an actual gameplay video later, which will be interesting to see too. So anyway, check the video out for that up on his.
What country is he in, by the way?
He's Canada.
Oh, okay.
Best country in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Next up, and this is from Amigo Aaron. And we demonstrated his CoinOps CoCo front end system last week, where it actually has like the video clips and the box artwork and everything else. He's actually put it up for download now to run on Windows with some other stuff added. Crystal City is actually one of the games added to it. So he's got extra disk support. He has the instant load where you actually have the save state. Like Crystal City, rather than you having to load all the disks to get up to the running point, he actually has a save state where it's just ready to run. So once you click on it, you're just you're ready to play. You don't have to wait for swapping discs and stuff.
Nice.
So he's temporarily got it up on his Google Drive. If you guys want to get it, the link Mark will put into the chat. But he's just planning on moving it onto something else, a Color Computer Archive later. So please, he also wants some feedback on testing and see if there's any suggestions, etc., to make things better. Like last week, if anybody wants to help with making artwork for some of the games that don't really have logos or something like that, so that you can get incorporated later on and save him the time of doing it himself, because as he fully admits, he's not an artist.
For God's sakes, Jim, I'm not an artist.
And this is beta 2, though. He had beta 1 earlier in the week and then beta 2, and he's actually got a patch that goes up to it, though from looks of the size, it's pretty well the same size as the original, so just get the new one. But yeah, definitely, it's a nice project. It's a really well done front end, and we were complimenting on it last week.
Oh, yeah.
And feel free to contribute, in your own way, making artwork, doing the video clips, etc. And we'll see if we can get this going as a full-blown arcade experience. I'd like to see what Henry does if he uses this in his main cabinet to see what it looks like. So that brings up to a cross promotion here. So the Amigos right now have been going since 8 a.m. Eastern, and this is a thing they do annually, and it's called the Amigathon. So it's definitely Amiga-centric. But they're doing like contests. They've got some special guests from the Amiga world coming in, but it's a charity raising thing, and they've done this for 4 years in a row now, and they're raising money for the children's hospitals. So here's the little promotion for it.
Amigathon.
And they have done a 24-hour one before, but they got too tired after that, so they've cut it back to 12. So it's been going since 8 a.m. this morning. It'll be going till 8 p.m. Eastern today. It's just live. You can get in the chat on Twitch, etc., to converse with them and then just take donations. And Frodo, if you're still in the chat there, I think we last saw they'd already raised over $4,000, which is actually a record for them.
Wow. Do you have the stream open? We can just look at it real quick.
I don't, but it's just Twitch TV Amiga Retros Gaming. It's their standard Twitch channel. If somebody wants to bring it up.
Well, we're looking at your browser tab right now. If you wanted to open it up on a new tab, you could.
I can try
Twitch
that.
TV.
There's also their webpage here.
Okay, so this is the. Okay, hit refresh because maybe you're out of date here because that says 30.
For sure I'm out of date. I loaded this up this morning, so.
Yeah. $4,500. Really good.
Yeah, and this is the second goal raise. I think they were only trying for. If Frodo can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they started this morning with a $3,000 goal. And then they bumped it to 4. Now they bumped it to 5. So they've been getting a lot of donations, and actually they're quite surprised. They were figuring with COVID and a lot of people went out of work and stuff that they would get far less donations this year. And so far they've been doing pretty good.
That's great. Good job, guys. Good money for a good cause.
Yeah, very cool.
As far as Twitch here, let's see if I can get there.
Like to see what they're currently doing right now.
$112 people watching that, so.
Migos
got an
Retro
audience.
And then go down to the traffic lights and set us going. Boat, you might want to hit tab to get rid of the overlay.
Will do.
Is that too loud, guys? Or?
Yeah, turn it down a little bit just so we can. Just wanted to kind of see it. We don't necessarily need to hear it, but.
Thank you.
Yeah, so they've been going for just about 9 hours now.
Wow.
You look good. How you feel?
Feel good.
Yeah.
I feel great. We have not had to buy any new cable modems.
Not yet.
Okay. So the red car is Paul Kitchen.
And I know some of the people on our panel, some of the
white car
CoCo users have
is
also
Duncan
been media
Styles.
users as well. So
He's rolling very slowly forward, so
Nick Marenti's
inspire to accelerate.
His CoCo game artwork
on this game.
We're just dragging Duncan's name to the mud here. Come
Well,
on,
no,
Doug.
it's,
You're driving like my granny.
Anyway, definitely want to cross promote it. It's a good cause.
No
It's
one's
by
moving
some
the
guys
bottom
have done some good
player.
stuff for
Yeah,
the
so
CoCo community as
I
well.
think
So
we
if
do
you
have
guys have some
control
money to spare
issues.
for the.
All right, well, mute them because I can't hear you, Curtis. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all over the place. Yeah.
Okay, so say that last part again now.
Well, basically, I just wanted to cross promote for people that have the money to spare and want to donate to a good cause that hit their Twitch stream, and you can actually, or their webpage that Mark would have posted in there, and you can actually donate to the Children's Foundation Hospital group. So it's a good cause, and like I said, they've done some good stuff for the CoCo community too with the CoCo show, which is unfortunate because the boat's job is kind of on hiatus. They do have the CoCo pie still on their spin wheel, so it may come up in the ARG Sunday show, Amigo Retro Presents. So there's still some chance of some CoCo stuff coming on, and I know Boat and Aaron both participated in the Crystal City this week too, so they're still participating on the CoCo games too. And hopefully once Boat's job is kind of steady and his training is all done, hopefully they can bring some of these shows back. So
Cool. Whatever they're playing looks really neat. That driving game.
Yeah, I don't have an Amiga, so I've seen some of these games before, but I don't know which one it is.
It looks like a Super NES game, anyways. Right?
No, it looks cool. Neat.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
And
Lotus
that's it for
Turbo
the gaming
Challenge.
news.
Turbo Challenge, okay.
All right, we've been joined by Brian Weasler. How you doing there, Brian?
Hello. How you guys doing today?
Good. Curtis, you mentioned you have 11 news articles?
Yep.
All right, and how long have we been going right now? We are going on almost 3 hours. Why don't we do this? Why don't we skip news this week, and we're going to go to project updates and acquisitions, because I think there's a handful of people who have a handful of things to show. We're already at a 3-hour show. And so...
there's just too much good floppy talk going
on. So we'll roll that news over into next week. So we're going to take a commercial break, and then we'll come back with project updates and acquisitions. I know David O'Connor has something to show. Brian Weasler, you probably have something to show, right? You're muted.
Yes.
Okay.
I got one thing I can show.
Mikey, did you have anything to show? We started off by looking in your closet, Mikey. I'm not sure. And does anybody else have anything they wanted to show off? I know we're going to look at David O'Connor's CoCo. Anyone? Brian Schubring's raising his hand, so Brian's got something to show. So we got 2 or 3 people with a few things to show. So we'll be back after these words. We're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to do our public service announcement commercial break. So we'll be back after these. Oh, Mikey says we can do another closet view. Woo! More closet after these words.
Hi, this is Eddie Zerbinsky from beautiful Quebec City. Vous écoutez CoCoTALK.
As you're enjoying CoCo Talk, we also want to remind you about the CoCo Discord server. This is a place where people come to connect, to ask questions, to provide answers, to share information, and to socialize. So when you're done, why don't you head on over to the CoCo Discord server and we'll continue the conversation there. The easy to remember link is discord.cocotalk.live. See you on Discord. CoCo123 is the Glenside Color Computer Club community newsletter that's been in publication since 1985. While the Rainbow magazine may be gone, it doesn't mean you still can't have a cool CoCo periodical. Head on over to the Glenside Color Computer website at glensidecc.com ccc.com, and then click on the Documents link to view all the past issues of the CoCo 123 newsletter. Not only can you read all of the past and present issues, we'd also love to hear some submissions from you. So if you'd like to send an article, a column, something to talk about, maybe even a program listing, send an email to glensidecc@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. The CoCo World Map is a cool community resource where you can view coconuts from around the world. Head on over to map.cocotalk.live and see where your fellow coconutians happen to be living on the planet Earth. If you would like to submit yourself to be on the CoCo Map, send an email to cocotalk@cocotalk.live, and we look forward to seeing you on the CoCo Map. Hey guys, it's Stevie Strode. If you've been watching CoCo Talk for a while, hopefully you understand that everyone is welcome to join this show. You don't need an impressive resume to get on. You just need to enjoy the CoCo and be willing to talk about it. There is no wrong way to CoCo. There is no wrong way to be a fan of the CoCo. There's no wrong way to be on CoCo Talk. You just have to want to talk CoCo. So if you would like to join us, then reach out to us on our Discord server, which is discord.cocotalk.live, or send an email to cocotalk@cocotalk.live, and let's get you on the show and let's talk about the CoCo.
Hi, I'm Tim, and you're watching CoCo Talk Live. And I'm playing Daggerath online like that idiot from the book.
Can you dial back on the condescension there as you respond there? Oh, will the fun ever start is the question that we need to ask everyone. So it's time for everyone's favorite part of the show, everybody. We're talking...
CoCo Closet!
It's CoCo Closet, everybody. So look at this. Look at this. There.
Old-fashioned model CoCo 1 with lots of paint missing, and the keyboard is
like mine.
Just send it over to the 8-bit guy. He'll touch it up for you.
4K CoCo 1. Sorry, what was that, Jason?
The 8-bit guy can touch that up for you. I saw the video.
Right. Mercedes Silver.
These are. Wait a minute. There's one that's missing. Where is it? Oh, here. The older CoCo 2 with the melted keyboard, which I repaired a couple months ago. And then we have the CoCo 2B with the CoCo VGA, and we have a CoCo 3 here, and these are both 86 gimme, but I think this was Little John's development system. This was the one that came with the smoke smell that's pretty much gone. I can use it. And then this CoCo 3 I think I got like 2 years ago. Somebody had it for, they had like a mini auction. It was like some guy named Bill, I think. So I picked this one up. And then, so that's all the CoCo stuff. But again, this is my...
No MC10?
This is a very rare ZX80 because not only were there not very many here in the United States, this one happens to be NTSC video. And I really don't think there are very many of these. I can't
Channel 36?
Up for this guy. I think this is maybe like 10 or 20 bucks. I couldn't imagine paying more than that. So,
yeah. Sounds like the toilet flush works.
Well, and, yeah, CoCo Closet.
Nice.
Is your Sinclair UHF or VHF? Is it channel 36 or 3?
Channel 2 and 3, I think it's switchable. TV socket. It very clearly here says made in England, but it's FCC, and it says, and somewhere I thought it said NTSC on it. But it works.
Yeah. The difference is the UHF Sinclairs were rock stable, beautiful video, and the Channel 3/4 Sinclairs or /Timexes were an abomination on the world that should have never been sold.
The rest of the room, things are changing here. This is going to be the audio wall, and so these a lot of the gray boxes while you guys were busy doing gaming. I have been busy moving stuff downstairs to storage, but still a tornado in here. We'll get it straightened out. So
What's
yeah.
it scoped at? What's your scope down there? So oscilloscope.
It's a Tech 465B.
Oh, nice, very nice. Yeah.
It needs a little bit of work, but
Tektronix from Oregon.
Yeah. 465 is a really cool model.
It has some spare parts for it, so I should be able to fix it up. Yeah.
Nice.
And I want to set up the CoCo 3 FPGA over there with running EOU on it at 25 megahertz. That's pretty nice. So, yeah.
Does that mean I can stop optimizing?
Yeah, it's my new setup.
Nice.
Yeah, cool. Very nice. I'm a
Put
fan.
you guys down. Take one down and set it up on the other table there, and play with it. Then it has a spot to go back. I just need a place for the things to go.
Yep.
So,
I'm running into that problem.
If it has a spot, then I will be more, a little bit more interested to put it back. Oh, here's the Model 100. It's in the case there.
You'll go far, Fletcher. You'll go far.
That's it from CoCo Closet. Back to you, Stevie.
All right. Well, it's time for everyone's favorite part of the show, project updates and acquisitions.
That's always
the show.
Depends on who you are.
David O'Connor, the Thunder from Down Under. Why don't you tell us what you got over your shoulder there?
Well, for all intents and purposes, it looks like a Model 4, but it's color.
Yeah, it's Color. It's a Color Model 4.
CoCo SDC. Yeah, for those who have been following my my reports on this project, it's one of my CoCo 3s that I've been grafting into a Model 4 case, and I've finally got it up and running. There's still some work to do on it. It isn't finished yet, but it is working. And in one of the earlier episodes, I mentioned that I bought an LCD monitor for it, and I was going to take out the old CRT bezel and mount the monitor directly to the front of the white part of the case. But the bezel was just a little bit too large, and it didn't quite sit centered. It was sort of a bit offset this way. And I thought, okay. So I ended up, I took the monitor apart and pulled out the LCD panel and just had a look at it and did some measurements. And it turns out it was exactly the same size as the mounts on the inside of the CRT bezel, to the nearest millimeter. So all I had to do was trim off a couple of plastic supports that were getting in the way. And for that, I used this fantastic tool. Everybody should have one of these. You can cut through anything with one of these.
I use that to get my nose hairs, yeah.
Yeah, so
can we get a closer up look of it? It looks really cool.
Yeah, I've got some photos here that I actually took earlier. Actually, my camera's on I've got it on a tripod at the moment, so it's a bit hard to move it around. But I'll just go screen share here.
Now, how are you connecting to that screen? Is it composite to that screen, or are you doing RGB?
At the moment, it's composite. I will be doing a mod where I'm going to run it from RGB into VGA, because the monitor has a VGA input as well, obviously.
Okay.
And then eventually I'm going to get a Gimme X. So then I'll be running that straight into the VGA. input.
I mean, from here it looks good. The colors look good, and
it's because it's a PAL CoCo 3.
So composite's already RGB.
Yeah, exactly. It gets a composite signal from the RGB instead of from the Gimme, so it's a much cleaner signal.
Absolutely.
And that monitor's actually really good on with a composite signal. It's really clean.
Yeah, it looks good.
And we're running Nick Morenti's new Rally SG demo on here at the moment. So I'll just if I can screen share my.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Hang on, let me try that again. Yeah. No, I've got. You cannot start screen share while the other participants. Someone else must be still.
Well, I mean, I am, but I had it set up where we could multiple screen shares can share simultaneously. I have that checked, but I'll stop sharing anyway. So go ahead.
All right, let me try. Yeah, now it's working. All right, let me go to screen.
All right.
Yep.
You're sideways.
Good.
You just turned it.
Yep, it'll fix itself up in a minute. Just in here, I'll just go back to the start of them. This here is where I.
Oh yeah, there's the screen with the bezel.
Yeah, I've pulled it out, and it had this ugly silver surround on it. So I basically put some masking tape on it and painted it black, so it all looks nice.
I see a masking tape. I want to paint it black.
That's the one. So there's a rear shot. Down the bottom is the actual panel itself, having been removed, and up the top is the back part with all the input circuitry and everything. That there is the panel mounted to the actual bezel. So it looks like
it flushes up pretty good.
It gives it a bit. It keeps the old school look.
Yeah,
I really like
the
bezel.
Old CRT the bezel sells it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's mounted inside. You can see there that I can zoom up on there. You can see that the panel actually fits perfectly
in the base of it.
The old mount. So that worked out really well. Then I've just closed it up there. That's the back closed up, and I've mounted that. This here, the spot that I've mounted the. Hang on, let me see if I can get. This shot here. You can see here. I ended up mounting the motherboard sideways because I couldn't fit cartridge.
Look at that! I was wondering how you did that. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't fit the cartridges in if I mounted it the other way around.
Right.
The CoCo SDC would fit, but the longer ones, like the speech cartridge and the Orchestra CC, wouldn't fit. And the other advantage with doing it this way was the cartridge actually sits next to the keyboard, so you can pull them out and plug them in and everything, and it leaves the 5 1/4 inch floppy drive bays free that I can use for custom panels. So here, what I had to do there. You'll see it just in here if I zoom in. I had to make a keyboard extender because the Mylar wouldn't reach to the motherboard with it like that.
Yeah.
So I unsoldered the socket from the motherboard and then just soldered some ribbon cable onto it between that. Oh, Neo, not now.
Neo
timing, Bruce.
Yeah.
So here you can see that's where I've actually.
That's where you desoldered the keyboard socket. Yeah.
Yeah, and I used the proper desoldering tool, which is sitting behind me, so you can see that I've done it nice and cleanly without any lifted tracks or anything like that.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah, so having the right tools makes all the difference. There it is, running there's the CoCo SDC.
Yeah, that is so cool. Like right where the numeric keypad would be. It's so convenient just to pop in your SD card right there.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a cover to go over that.
It's possible that you might be. I don't know if you tried it, but could you get the Mega Mini MPI or a Mini MPI to fit in that space where you could get a couple of cartridges in there?
It's a little bit. I tried it with the Mega Mini, but the Mega Mini sits up too high, and it raises the whole thing too high to actually fit in. So unfortunately, I can't. But
I bet you could use a little extender, like a ribbon cable or whatever, and just extend.
Yeah, Y cable or some sort.
Yeah, and push it out.
Yeah, probably could. I'd have to. The Mini MPI with the 2-slot one would definitely fit. I could probably do something like that.
That'd be kind of cool.
As you can see there, that's the composite on the screen.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's for composite signal. It's really quite sharp.
Yeah.
That's matrix. The good thing with that is it's the 80 width mode.
Not bad.
Which usually composite, makes a dog's breakfast of it, but it looks pretty good here. Nice and clean.
What is included in a dog's breakfast? Are we talking about bacon, eggs, toast?
Depends on the dog.
Leftover roadkill.
That's the animation that I usually run in the background. I'm not running it this week, so.
Yeah, that looks really nice. Frogger. Ooh, dun, 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 dun.
That's another shot that I took. Just zoom back a little bit. So yeah, as you can see there, I still haven't put anything in the 5 1/4 bays.
Yeah.
But what I'm thinking of putting in there is I/O ports, joystick ports, serial port, cassette port.
Bring all your port extenders, right?
Yeah. And a couple of custom ports for linking it to my modular synthesizers, and also controls for the monitor. The monitor is actually controllable. I've actually got a remote control for it as well.
Okay.
So I can remote control everything on the monitor. So I just go out of...
I've hung an MPI off of 3 inches of ribbon cable before, and it worked just fine for multiple examples, which would really let you just plug 2 cartridges into that bottom floppy port there.
Yeah, I thought of that. I thought of that, but I kind of prefer the idea of having the cartridge down here.
Yeah, that's an unlikely place for it.
Yeah, and it also gives me. Then I've got these.
Right, because it's not you got a big gaping hole next to your keyboard, and what the hell are you going to do with that space? So at least you're taking advantage of that space right there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was thinking about putting in a numeric keyboard, but I thought, do I really need one? So and the right here, that's my desoldering tool. So it's a nice professional proper.
That's right handy.
Yeah.
That looks really nice, David.
What's the second half of that?
The second half. Oh, here, that's the soldering iron.
Oh, you have a soldering iron to match your desoldering iron. Okay.
Yeah, it's all in one unit. There's 2 separate sides.
Oh, okay. So I have the right half of yours with the desolder pump in the right half, and not the left half. So I was confused.
Yeah,
well, it came as a desolderer without the soldering iron half. But
so I know my screen
exactly the same.
Nimble says that those drive bays would make nice spare paper roll holder shelves for a TP10 printer.
If you ran NitroS 9, where your SDC is now would be a great place for a trackpad.
Yeah,
trackpad.
Yeah.
Ooh. A koala pad. You can squeeze a koala pad in there, maybe. I don't know. So
the Waco trackball.
Trackball.
Yeah,
trackball.
I used the Logitech trackball with NitroS 9 for years on my TC9.
Yeah, so you got options.
And the keyboard fitted in there perfectly too. I've still got to mount. I've still got to properly mount the right hand side. It's a little loose, but it's the screws aren't in or anything yet. So because I'm still working on it. But yeah, the CoCo 3 keyboard actually fits in perfectly. So it all ended up come together quite nicely so far.
That is super cool.
Yeah. So I've always loved the look of the Model 4. So I just I love CoCo 3, the CoCos. So I thought, I always wished they had released a CoCo in the design of the Model 4 case.
Well, the CoCo 4 prototype was kind of a little bit there with the built-in floppy drive, so it was a step in that direction. I like the case. I actually like the white Model 4 versus the silver Model 3 too. I mean, I like that look. I don't know. I don't have room for one. So as much as I would love to have one or have a case to do something like a repack, they just take up so much room. Like even now, my Tandy 1000, my original Tandy 1000A, it's just so bulky. It takes up so much room. I don't have a lot of room for these systems. I'm reaching critical mass, so.
Yeah.
When we had that discussion, like hardware versus emulators, one of the downsides of real hardware is it takes up a lot of freaking space. When I go to show you, what I got behind me, I got 4 giant freaking bins full of crap that I just acquired. So real hardware takes up space, man.
One other thing I forgot to mention too is the speakers in this monitor are pretty good. So if I just turn the volume up here,
speakers too. You're cruel.
Speakers in the monitor. Yeah. Well, who'd have thunk it?
Actually, I'll just load up. I'll load up Frogger because it's got better.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing about a CoCo. It's not just the space it takes. It's not one thing. It's 18 different things that have to be plugged together correctly and maintained that way. Otherwise, you might explode something. Which
you said that like it's a bad thing, man.
You also said like you have some experience in the matter.
I've exploded many. I can do the Dave Lab thing, but I'm going to restraining myself.
Oh, I really like breaking things.
So yeah.
Well, how long before the kids move out?
Yeah, right.
And I've got a remote control there, so I can mute the sound, or I can bring up picture menus and everything. And
nice.
Things, so yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with how it's coming up.
incorporate that CoCo IR project that let the CoCo read infrared as well, and then you can go crazy.
Control
it was
the
an old
CoCo from the
rainbow.
remote.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could hook up an old IR receiver to your cassette port and do all kinds of fancy things.
That is
do an IR keyboard and stuff too.
Yeah, that is a catchy tune, but that's no Crystal City.
No,
Crystal City.
Yeah,
Crystal Highway.
Oh wow, that's cool, David. That's a really cool project. Good on you, mate. Good on you, mate. Who else had something to show and tell? Brian Schubring. Brian, the Music Man Schubring. You are muted right now, Brian. That is a giant PCB, by the way. That is huge. It's huge.
I recognize that. I know what that is.
Okay, I'm still here. I just had to set things up a little bit. Can you all hear me all right?
We can hear you, yes.
All right,
Certainly
that's
can.
good.
Is that the thing that David O'Connor has that turns...
That's what it looks like.
Yep, I picked one up myself and play with it. So having the computer audio coming out into the unit here.
Where are those notes coming from?
My synthesizers.
Okay.
So all I did is I wrote a real quick program that took those to the scales 1 through 12.
Yeah.
And randomly do the octaves, and then it just goes through. But you can, that's just using the play command, not the CoCo and ours log. So that's one of the things that I'm doing. The other thing is rebuilding my tape player.
I can't hear.
Yeah, can you bring your microphone up a little bit, Ryan? Your voice level's really low.
Yeah.
Is that a little bit better?
That's much better. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. My mic wasn't too high.
Could
That
still
should
be
be
a
a
little
little
better.
bit better.
That's much better.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. Yeah. No, this is just one my main acquisition, and the other thing I'm doing is rebuilding my tape recorder so that I can actually get the tape programs off of some tapes, and my one is too finicky for some of the tapes, so I have to rebuild the my cassette player. And I've got actually two of them, and I bought some extra belts for that. And I'm thinking about doing a video, a quick how-to video, a quick teardown and belt replacement of the CCR 82.
Oh, neat.
That's what I got going on right now. So, back to the...
Hey,
That's a catchy tune, Brian.
Yeah, I bet.
Have you experimented with the onboard synth on it yet, Brian?
Oh, you mean talking this?
Oh, yeah. There you go. Tweak that filter.
Some envelope, attack, decay.
Yep.
Sustain. Is it ASDR?
ADSR, yeah.
ADSR, yeah.
All right, I'm going to go deaf if I hear this any longer.
Is that a little bit better?
Yeah, keep turning down.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can't hear that?
Yeah, the synth is really, really loud and your voice is really quiet.
Well, we can do that for a minute. I just muted you. I was going freaking deaf. All right, I muted you, Brian, until you can stop the insanity, because I think you need to unmute yourself now, because I can't now. When I try to unmute you, it says ask to unmute, so I can't. I can't unmute you. But I muted you. You need to unmute yourself.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, I'm back.
All right.
So,
Yeah, that was getting really, really loud.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it was getting that loud onto your feed. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Neat. Very cool. All right. Who else had a project update and acquisition? Is Brian Weasler still here? Did we lose him? Where did Brian Weasler go? Brian Weasler dropped off. Who else? Anyone else have any updates, acquisitions? Anyone?
Bueller.
Bueller. I was going to save mine for last because I've got a doozy. But I want to give everybody a chance. Anyone? No? Going once?
Beat CoCo Closet.
All right. I don't know. The CoCo Closet's going to be hard to beat. So,
all right.
I'm going to just, let me, I guess I have to do what
CoCo Bathroom, would that beat CoCo Closet?
Do what she said and make it bigger here. So, number one, behind me here, these 4 bins are the recent game consoles that I acquired on Father's Day. I got 4 complete retro game consoles with accessories and cartridges and all kinds of stuff. So it's an NES, a Super Nintendo, a Nintendo 64, and a Sega Genesis with Sega CD. I'm still troubleshooting some of them with power adapters or other things, but I'm slowly getting all those systems to life. So those are now just kind of sorted in bins. Over here, this is a little rack that I just put together today that's got a bottom shelf that can, I've got that spaced out where I can tuck my Tandy 1000 under there and other things. And then in the middle is my brand new Commodore monitor. That is a 1084S. So that is a color composite monitor that I think also has analog RGB input, and that's just a Dell VGA monitor. But that Dell VGA monitor also has composite and S-video and stuff like that. So this is a little stand here that I'll be able to test and connect a variety of retro systems very quickly and easily.
Including a CoCo.
Even a CoCo, right? Because it's color composite, right? So I can even do my...
Well, the RGB analog on that works.
Oh,
with CoCo
yeah.
And better quality than the CMA.
Right. So what I'm going to show you now, though, this is my pickup just from the other day, is what's in the box, bitch, right? So we got a whole big old box of stuff here. I haven't even seen all of what's in this box. So we're going to look at this all live and on the air. So this is going to be a unboxing of my latest system. But I will tell you this, it is the winning retro system for those of you who know. I've said this for years. The Commodore 64 is an amazing machine. It's an incredible machine. It's fantastic. So...
Does that universal remote mute button work?
So one of the things that we'll see here is, look at this.
Dust cover.
We have a dust cover. This is genuine. I believe they call this Naga hide, right? And I can't tell you how many Nagas they had to hide to get this here, but that's we got that. I got another one of these. I got another one. This one's got a little bit of a stain on it, but I got a couple of those. Okay.
That looks like disk drive 1541.
Oh, okay.
Drive.
Spare keyboard, I guess. Is that a? I don't know what the hell to do with that.
That's actually from the C64C, which is the second model.
Will it fit in the other one? I don't know.
Yeah.
I know the outside case design is different, but the keyboard might be identical.
All right, so here's a manual for C64C.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the one that has the design case like the 128 versus the original bread box.
Yeah.
Commodore 1541 disk drive manual.
Yep. It's for the original.
Does it come with those hourglass timers to time your loads in
1802 user's guide, but I think I've got a different monitor.
Yeah, that's the 128 monitor, not the Amiga monitor.
1541C user's guide.
Yep. That's the one that matches the color of the newer 64s.
Commodore 64 user's guide.
Yep.
Original case.
I got some cartridges here. Okay. Grid Runner.
Yep. Hexware.
Clowns. Le Mans.
And balloons? Are there balloons?
There's clowns. I don't know about balloons. It's looking like a plethora of cables. This is looking like a DIN to video cable of some form.
There's a 7-pin DIN or something to a couple RCAs.
Yeah, so we got the RCAs here. We got a couple of DINs here. Here a DIN, there a DIN. More cartridges. Okay, this is a Kickman.
The Din of Commodore.
Oh, this is the visible solar system. We can't show you the invisible solar system, but we will show you the visible one.
What was the planet?
Seawolf. Is this the one that had Ernest Borgnine in it? Ernest Borgnine? Or no, is that something else? That was Airwolf.
Seawolf, I think, is definitely a Commodore classic.
Okay. I have Omega Race.
And Omega Race, yeah.
That's a good one. Say what you will about the Commodore. It's great. It's great.
Speed Bingo Math. So,
I should put that up against the new math tutor.
Yeah. We got Radar Race.
Radar
Rat Race.
Oh man,
That was. I've got the theme song from that recorded off a C64 on a cassette here. I love the theme song from that. The audio.
All right, I don't know what the hell this is. This is a DIN to DIN cable, so something needs to get DIN.
It's probably for your disk drive.
Okay.
Is it 6? If it's 6, it's for the disk drive.
It is.
So that's like 5 around the outside, 1 in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's a DIN to DIN.
Yep. That's hooked your drive to your computer.
Okay. Here's another DIN to DIN.
Probably the same.
Yeah. The Commodore stuff daisy chains. You go one drive to the next drive to the printer.
There's another DIN to DIN.
Yep. A short one.
And now you're really slow.
Oh wow! Here's a big ass power brick for something. That's the Commodore power brick. Is that for the computer itself?
Yep.
Well, holy crap!
Replace it. They're notorious for blowing up and blowing your Commodores up.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a linear supply that can turn into a non-linear supply quite quickly.
The worst thing is the 5-volt DC fails and becomes 6, and then it fries your RAM.
Okay, so here's another DIN to that.
Yeah, it's your audio video.
Yeah, I believe there are aftermarket power
supplies. Nice.
Yeah.
Here we go.
At least yours yours isn't cracked like mine.
Yep.
It's in pretty good condition.
Sun.
That's looking good.
Nice.
Okay. So where did the cartridges go? In the back here, or in the side? Where the hell did the cartridges go?
The right side, the big one near the power switch, the right side.
Over here.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. Okay, and so I'd imagine one of these DIN outputs is how you get your video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what are these edge connectors back here for in the back?
There's a user port, and the one in the middle is a cassette port. There's a special cassette tape unit that goes with it. Unless you buy a third-party product from Cardco that lets you use a regular tape player.
Okay. Oh my God! Holy crap! Okay, I got this. What is this? This is a VIC 1525 graphic printer. This is not the one Jim Brain was talking about, was it?
I don't think so, but might be.
Okay, that's a beast.
What a din that thing makes. Hey, wow. My ears are burning.
My ears are covered from the previous
We can stop.
That's
Jim Brain says that the content of this show has improved greatly.
Okay, 1541.
Oh.
Yep. Single-sided floppy drive. Yep.
Okay.
73K.
This thing is freaking heavy, dude, for a floppy drive. Holy crap!
Yeah, it's a standalone computer.
Yeah.
It's got a 6502 in it.
Transformer in the back.
It's got a 6502 in it.
Ooh, 6502.
And the serial cable connecting that standalone computer to your Commodore.
What is
this?
this?
Be a floppy.
It's the
1571.
1571. Nice.
Double-sided floppy for the Con 28.
Okay.
Fancy pants.
I got another cartridge, Music Machine.
So I have that one, I think.
Well, I've got a VIC 20 cassette with VIC term.
I have an important question.
Oh, it's
for you.
64 terms on the other
term on the other side.
The important question is, Stevie, are you keeping up with the Commodore? Because the Commodore is keeping up with you.
Okay, here's holy.
Man, what the hell is that?
Oh, that's
Brian Schubring.
All right, sorry, Brian. I had to mute you, Brian. That music is not good Commodore Company music. Okay, is this for one of the floppy? Oh, this is for a C128 power supply.
That's for the 128, yeah.
Which I don't have.
But you have the power supply.
A death brick. Cool.
Okay.
He has the power.
Here's a big
Those
black
aren't as bad.
power.
That's for the
C64.
Commodore 64.
Okay.
That's the beige one. All those ones were black. All the newer ones were white.
Okay, so do I need to use one of those for the floppy drive, maybe?
No.
Nope, floppy drive has a huge iron transformer in the back.
AC, doesn't it?
Okay,
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
two
Well,
C64C
that's heavy.
user introductory guys.
Yeah, the 1541, 1571, they have a built-in power supply, and you just plug 120 volts in.
Oh wow, look at this. Commodore joystick model 1311 in the box.
The big question, Stevie, is how much did they pay you to take all this?
Yeah, it was all free. All right, so this
wow.
is like an Atari joystick. Single button Atari style joystick, huh?
Commodore joysticks are all switches like the Ataris.
Okay. So I got that. And it looks like it even has the same 9-pin connection like the Atari, huh?
Exactly. This is what I have for my Commodore stuff.
Okay. Oh, what are these paddles? I didn't know they made Commodore paddles.
Yep, they do.
Okay, well, these are actually VIC-20 paddles. Will they still work? 64. Oh, it says 64.
on the top.
64 VIC-20 paddles. Okay.
It'll work.
The the SID chip that does the sound also handles the paddles, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got 2 joysticks and 2 paddles.
Excellent.
And all kinds of DIN cables. And so it's a Commodore 64 with a floppy drive, apparently a printer, bunch of cartridges, the color monitor, which is the holy grail for me, that 1084 monitor. I haven't tried it yet, but it looks really nice. And now in my garage, I have this wooden double wide peach crate filled with Commodore floppies. I mean, this thing is like 4 foot long, 2 floppies wide, like packed. So I've got a ton of floppies that came with this. So this came from a guy in our Florida Retro Club. We had a virtual meeting Saturday night, not long after our CoCoTALK show. So it was like around 7 p.m. Saturday. We had a meeting, and there was a guy, I think he's in Jacksonville, and he has a collection that some of it's his, some of it he inherited from a friend of his who passed away. And then and the guy who has all this stuff, he's like, man, I'm losing my eyesight and I can't see. I can't enjoy this. I want to find homes for it all. And so some other guys from our group who live down south, they drove through the country, and so they were going to pass this guy anyway, so they picked it up. Matter of fact, talking about floppies, 8.5-inch floppies. So the guy, he went to Virginia to meet somebody who was going to repair an 8-inch floppy he had, and it was cheaper, he was saying, to drive this to them than to pay for the shipping to have this floppy drive shipped properly. So he drove to Virginia to get an 8-inch floppy repaired for a vintage system. And so, when he's leaving Florida and coming back in Florida, he got basically the entire collection from this guy who just wanted to find homes for everything, that for people who weren't going to flip them. So I basically inherited an entire C64 system now that I picked up Friday at lunchtime, and I've now just seen it for the first time. So that's my big acquisition this week. So that's going to be following up with the announcement that this will be the last CoCo Talk, because the show is now switching to C64 Talk, and I'll see all you. Yeah, I'll see you losers later.
Retro is going to be your big sponsor.
Get out of here, losers.
Next thing you know, he'll be watching.
Next week's Game On Challenge will be Jumpman.
Next thing you know, he'll be watching Adrian Black and Jan Bita.
Oh,
Jan
Bita? Nico, put The Last Ninja on your list there.
No, I like Rick. I don't want to piss him off.
It was nice knowing you, Stevie.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, I have no idea what to do with that system. I'm going to check it out. The cartridges will hopefully be easy to turn on and check out. Don't know about the floppy part, but we'll figure that out.
Just don't insert it when the computer's on. Oh, and also make sure your joysticks are plugged in before you turn it on. Don't plug and unplug them.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And also, I remember hearing recently, I was watching, I can't remember if it was Adrian Black or Jan Bita was talking about the keyboards are all interchangeable between the VIC-20 and all the Commodore 64 flavors. The 128, the +4, and all the other ones.
Interesting.
They all basically have the same exact keyboard. Not the same exact, but they're all interchangeable.
So I'm gonna have to let them know that I have the C128 power supply, because I think the C128 was in the stuff, and that's going to somebody else. So I might have a power supply that one of the other guys is going to need. So Anyways, so that was kind of neat. I'm really looking forward to checking out that color composite monitor because I've recently had my MC10 composite modded. I've got my Apple IIc that I haven't messed with that I can plug into composite. You know, I've got all these 8-bit and 16-bit game consoles that all support composite. So that little rack I set up with that little monitor now, that monitor is going to, you know, because it's a CRT too, you know, I'll be able to plug all kinds of stuff into that screen and get some good mileage out of that, you know, so.
Nice haul.
Yeah. How are we doing on time? We're
have some fun with that.
3 hours and 35 minutes. How much news do you have, Curtis? You think it's 15 minutes worth of news?
No, it's longer than 15. We'll wait till next week.
Okay. Wasn't sure if we want to maybe squeeze in some news in the tail end.
Oh.
I got
I
a
can't
quick
have the second
acquisition
half.
I could throw in. It's not really CoCo related, but it is kind of
Well,
Radio Shack related.
Neither was my Commodore. So, how you doing, John Lowry?
Pretty good. Coming to you from the new house. And give me 1 second to grab it. It's right over here.
All right.
And I'll be right back.
Hey, Mike, why don't you go back in the closet for a minute? We'll see.
Okay, I'll fire that back up.
Ready.
Ready.
Today, live from Mikey's closet. You have an impressively organized and arranged collection there, Mikey. I'm quite jealous of that. So,
I'm just jealous of the organization part of it because I can never do that.
Okay, well, he's back. John Lowry's back.
Freddie, who here has all seen the movie Apollo 13? Raise your hand.
Heard of it?
I'm sure
Absolutely.
every hand is going to go up. And you remember in the movie when remember when Marilyn Lovell was complaining to NASA about wanting to know what was going on, so they put a little speaker in her bedroom that had she could basically listen to the mission audio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week during the whole process. Well, if you remember the movie, it looked very similar to this here.
Ah.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
And this is actually a Radio Shack realistic SP150 communication speaker that they used to sell with one of their ham radios. And if you look at the prop in the movie, they basically took a piece of aluminum tape to hide the realistic logo. And printed out a meatball logo on a white square piece of cardboard. They printed out a meatball logo and stuck it on there, which I plan to do. And also I would like to put an MP3 player inside of it and load all the Apollo 13 mission audio. And
that's cool.
Put a button on the back or something. A button on the back, and it'll play the Apollo 13 mission audio through it.
Ah, that's cool.
an awesome idea.
I'll have a video when I do that mod.
Cool. I had that speaker back in my CB days, and I never made the connection with Apollo 13 until just now.
Yeah. Same here. Somebody posted
that speaker.
Somebody posted one, and I'm like, boy, that looks familiar. And then somebody pointed out where it came from. And
it's called a Squawk Box.
Squawk Box, exactly. And Fran from Fran Lab actually did the same. What I'm going to do with it, she didn't do the thing with the MP3 player, but she made it, look like the movie prop, which is what I plan to do too. So it's pretty cool. Little something I picked up that somebody posted in the Radio Shack forum, the All Things Radio Shack. I don't know who all here is part of that.
Yep.
So.
Absolutely.
When I saw that, I was like, "Oh man, I got to do that. I wonder if I can find one." And next thing I know, I'm on eBay paying for one.
Yeah, eBay is like my porn hub. I spend way too much time on eBay looking at stuff.
TMI, Stevie. TMI.
Oh yeah, eBay is my porn. Cool, Mikey. Are we going to see another tour of the closet?
Yeah, we got CoCo Closet Eddie over here.
All right, let's see it.
Flip to the right, Mikey. Not the wrong Mikey.
Ah, here we go. This is everyone's favorite segment. Mikey shows us his closet.
There you go.
There's your C64 bin. Yeah.
Mikey's going back in the closet.
Let me get this guy out.
You'll go far, Mikey. You'll go far.
100.
Where's all the yelling at Mikey with his Commodore 64?
Yeah.
Yeah, how about that?
And by the way, a great choice in Commodore systems down there at that Commodore, Mikey.
Boots, man.
Oh, hey, David, I wanted to show you the door on the. Let me just take this down so it's a little easier to see. the door on the Timex Sinclair 2068 has a door, and there's a cartridge slot in there, and this is what the door on it looks like.
Oh,
give you
yeah,
an
right.
idea.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that I had in mind. Something that lifts up where you can put the cartridge in and out. That's exactly what I had in mind.
Yeah, on the 2068. So.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, nice one.
Yeah,
Also,
and I have a couple HP 100s, and we didn't look at the
Apple IIc.
IIc, but this is the only Apple that I have. I guess this guy still works.
Yeah, I got one
And
too.
yeah, CoCo Closet and Retro Closet. Should actually call it Retro Closet, but you know.
Yeah. 8-bit closet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many bits do I have?
There's more than 8 actually.
Now we're gonna have to do math. Yeah.
Add up the bits.
Yeah.
Then I have all these IBM keyboards too.
If you divide the bits by the coefficient of the
Divide it by 0.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we had a good show today because we ended strong. We ended on the Commodore, so that's always a good thing.
You have a chat room of angry people, Steve. Just so you know.
I've been saying this for years. The Commodore is an incredible system. It's an amazing, fantastic system. Fantastic people own Commodores. Amazing things going on with those Commodores.
We'll see who comes back next week now.
Incredible.
Hopefully some of you guys will come back next
It's
week.
an even better doorstop than the MC10.
Oh, that's true.
Really
That's
riling
true.
up everybody.
So
Make doorstops great again.
yeah, I have 2 challenges right now. One of them is time, and the other one now is I have too many things that are falling in my lap all at once. I was just trying to get my MC10 going. I got the composite mod on my MC10. I bought a new capture device that reads in like component and composite and all kinds of stuff, and it captures that and outputs that as HDMI. So I mean, I've been acquiring things to be able to work on projects. I want to do stuff with the MC10 and the MC server and stuff like that. So a lot of coals in the fire. And then I started working on my Tandy 1000 because I got this CGA to VGA adapter. And then as soon as I started using that, then I'm like, oh crap, now I need a new hard drive. So I had to go down that road. And I put a V20 CPU in my Tandy 1000 too. That's like kind of like putting a 6309 in a CoCo, right? It's like a 186 clone. So I bought one of those on eBay for $20, and it's a new old stock, and it's a ceramic one too. So supposedly that's kind of rare. So I got a ceramic top V20 CPU I stuck in my Tandy 1000. I put in that new hard drive. I just got access to some software from a friend, so I'm going to be putting some software on that hard drive, playing with my Tandy 1000. I got MC10 stuff to do. I got all kinds of stuff to do. Now I've got a freaking Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, a freaking Sega, and a C64. So how am I going to have time to mess with all this crap? These are good problems to have, right? So
you're quitting your job, obviously.
Yeah, right.
Don't go to sleep.
This boss is an asshole anyway.
Stevie didn't answer my question.
What was your
Stevie didn't say whether he was keeping up with the Commodore.
No. Well, no. What do you mean, Mike?
You don't know that? You should watch Parafractic, his series on the SX64. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? Because the Commodore is keeping up with you.
No idea.
That was
I have to watch that one. I'll send it on Discord.
That's a good refurb. He does good refurbs on stuff, and he does one on that.
His videos are so corny, but he actually does pretty good work.
Okay, so would you guys recommend on the Commodore that I do not use these power supplies and I get aftermarket power supplies? Is that the recommended thing to do, or what?
Do you have a voltmeter?
Yeah,
that's what I hear.
Given that they're getting so old now, it's what happens is the regulators, the reference pin goes open circuit on them, and they output the full supply rail unregulated, and it just pops all the chips in them.
Yeah.
Do you
Actually,
feel
Ken is
lucky?
recommending you do use it for that reason.
Okay.
Actually, I've seen some situations where people will take apart the case and then dig out, because it's all potted and everything in there, and you dig out the old power supply and then put a new switch mode in it, and then close it back up so you have something retro looking. It looks like the power supply, but it's got a modern switch mode power supply in it that won't blow your computer up.
Oh, okay.
If it takes a dump.
It's like, do you feel lucky?
Do you feel lucky? Well, do you, Punk?
Yeah. At the age they are now, it's just a matter of time before they pop and take your.
There's a
computer.
few that are available. The fellow was at VCF last year, and he has the new brick, and then I think it's called NU brick, and then occasionally he does gut out the old C64 supplies and rebuild the innards. But that's kind of something he does kind of occasionally. He calls that, I believe, a re-brick.
A re-brick.
Those aren't always available.
A re-brick and a new brick.
Yeah. There's YouTube
David
videos.
David Ladd has a new brick. It's a nice metal case power supply.
Okay. Well, honestly, as much as I am looking forward to just experiencing what it's like to play with a Commodore, and I've got literally hundreds of floppies, so it'd be kind of cool to go through. The thing I'm most excited about is that monitor, because I can use that monitor for so many things, So
yeah, for sure.
That's like a win right there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Hook a TV tuner to it and watch TV.
Yeah. So, all right. So I'm going to play the outro, and then we'll be back for parting thoughts, and then maybe some gaming tonight with COLORPEDE. Who knows? Remember, the game of the week for this week coming up is COLORPEDE. Great clone of Centipede for the CoCo 1, 2, and 3. So we'll be back after the outro. This concludes another episode of CoCo Talk, the world's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy Color Computer. For all things CoCo Talk, visit us on the web at CoCoTalk.live. We'd love to hear from you. Send feedback, suggestions, even segments via email to CoCoTalk at CoCoTalk.live.
CoCo Talk is rocking the 8-bit world, keeping the Tandy flame alive. We may be mocked, but we'll never stop, 'cause CoCo Talk is rocking the 8-bit world.
Consider supporting the show with a purchase of merchandise from our retro swag shop at 8bit256.com. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, click the Patreon link at our website at CoCoTalk.live.
CoCo Talk is rocking the 8-bit world, keeping the Tandy flame alive. We may be mocked, but we'll never stop, 'cause CoCo Talk is rocking the 8-bit world.
CoCo Talk would not exist without the community, its cast, crew, and contributors. Thanks go to Curtis Boyle, David Ladd, Mark Overholzer, Grant Leedy, Bruce Moore, Nick Marentes, Ron Delvaux, Rick Adams, Jason Reichert, Richard Lorbieski, Jim Brain, Tom C., Rob Inman, Mark Bosley, Brian Joyce, Ken Reichert, David O'Connor, Brian Weasler, Terry Steggy, Nick Marotta, John Strong, and many more, especially to Steve Bjork for production suggestions and James Differendaffer for making my head explode. Please help support the CoCo community by visiting some of its various contributors. A list of resources is available at imacoconut.com. That's IMACOCONUT.com. The CoCo Talk theme song is copyright 2008 by D. Bruce Moore and Greg Sheeler. Mixed, mastered, and produced by D. Bruce Moore.
No, you have to go to a separate folder for games patched for the CoCo 3. If you go archive games, then there's a folder of games patched for the CoCo 3, and there's a whole bunch of.
There you go, and we're back from
or
the
I
break.
could just play it.
Yeah. All right. So thank you everybody for being here. Thank you everybody in the live chat. Kevin Holloway's out there. Explore VR says now that this is a Commodore show. I'm
Commodore.
looking forward.
I'll keep you up with the Commodore.
That's right. I'm looking forward to the
I'll
William
send the video
Shatner.
so you guys can see.
Yeah. Kevin Holloway has been here. Retro Innovations has been here. Ken Reichert has been here. Mark Overholzer, Nick Marotta, Canadian Retro Things, and Tom C. and John Lowry. And who else has been in the live chat today? Erico has been here. Nimble has been here. And Nick Marotta and Mikey and Mark Overholzer and Canadian Retro Things and Kevin Holloway and Tom C. and Erico and Rob Inman, Frodo Inman, Rob Inman, Frodo is here. DeBruce Moore was here. Dragon Bites was here. Al Hartman from Jersey. Salvador Garcia. Ken Riker. David Lord. Oh my goodness, the people that have been here, it's just been insane. It's been incredible. It's fantastic. I've said this a million times. We've got an incredible audience, fantastic audience, amazing people who do incredible things. I've always said that about our audience. Incredible, fantastic audience. And thank you guys for being here. Mark Bosley, parting thoughts. Anything you want to tell the folks at home?
Nah.
All right, Jason Reichert, as you're driving to points unknown, any parting thoughts for the folks?
Drink your Ovaltine.
All right, John Lowry.
Adios.
Adios. Mikey Furman, who we have everyone's favorite new segment to the show, Mikey's Closet. Michael Furman, host
CoCo Closet, Retro Closet.
That's right, host. Any final thoughts, Mikey?
Go Commodore!
Go. David O'Connor, final thoughts.
Oh, I gotta go and eat some Vegemite in a minute.
All right, crikey. Rick Hewlin, parting thoughts for the folks at home.
Well, we touched on data sheets before.
Yeah.
Never, ever design a product with a data sheet that looks like this.
Okay.
Huh?
Preliminary.
Preliminary.
That didn't work out so well.
Mark Overholzer, final thoughts from you?
I think Jim Brain will finally give us a 5-star rating.
L. Curtis Boyle, sorry for having to bump the news, but we're already bumping up into 4 hours today.
No problem. I just want to congratulate you on the wide variety of doorstops you managed to acquire.
Those. I tell you what,
size windows now you can hold doors open.
The Commodore printer will hold up a freaking garage door. Those Commodore floppy drives could open up a door in the middle of a hurricane. Those things are freaking heavy. Holy crap!
Gotta jack up that card.
That's right. If I need to change the tire, I can put a Commodore floppy drive underneath the car there. So. Oh, man. All right, guys, we're going to press the button. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Remember,
one quick thing, a reminder to go, if you guys want to contribute to the Children's Hospital Foundation, go check out the Amiga's Amigathon that's going on right now until 8 p.m. Eastern.
And a great job for doing that, guys, and all the money you're raising. Remember, Commodore is the most amazing systems ever been out there, the most incredible computer, fantastic computer. It's incredible.
Better quit while you're ahead.
All right, we're out of here. Peace out, everybody.
Listen to a CoCo show you guys find in chat room next week.